don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
God, hello. Hello. Welcome. This is the much anticipated episode 303. 303. It'll be great. Tomorrow's episode will be great. We'll be 304. 304. That'll be amazing. Tomorrow's you didn't notice I've had a haircut for the last couple of days. That's weird. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we have a show for you tonight, let me tell you. So last night, I don't even know why I was there. That's completely insane. The Madison County Council met, and let me explain to you why I was there. Thank you, Michael, and everyone. Thank you. No, you're okay, Cindy. You're okay. A lot of stuff was happening last night, so I can understand it. You know, you're not understanding. Hello there, Miss Crooms. I hope you're doing well. Tweety Bird and all of the people that are here. Welcome. K-Mama, GW, all of you. Hey, listen to me. Last night was crazy. It was very, very crazy. Yeah, Alpha, that's the way. A lot of people weren't really understanding it. We'll talk a little bit about that. So here's the thing. People are like, why were you there? Why is this your battle? Why were you there fighting? Yada, yada, yada. We're going to get into all of that. I'll explain everything there. We'll talk about all of that. We're gonna be talking, of course, with my good friend Katherine Callahan. The doc is in the box, and so we'll be talking to her here in a minute and pulling her up here. It's going to be fantastic. While you guys are watching this, there are 41 of you. Right now, I challenge each and every one of you that are watching on Facebook, just briefly, quickly go down there and hit the like button and get it out of the way. If you are not a subscriber to this channel, what are you waiting for? You need to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything. Just hit the subscribe button, click the like button, click the bell, and let's get it out of the way. If you're watching on Rumble, we want to welcome you. We are now on Rumble for the third night in a row. We are gaining viewers and followers on Rumble, so I want to thank you guys for that. That is now another platform where you can find our amazing program and world-class political commentary. So thank you for giving us your time. I want to thank you for that. You could be anywhere. And the fact that you're here watching either in real time or that you're watching this later in the future via your time and replay, we thank you no matter what. I will ask that you communicate with us over here on the side if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, please comment down below. You know what to do. It's YouTube. It's been around forever. I shouldn't have to explain it to you. So before we get into our guest tonight, I do just want to remind everybody that we are now, oops, that's not right. We are now, oops, that's right. There you go. Wait a minute. That's not right either. What day is it? Is that right? Yeah, it's the 27th day. Yeah, that's right. The 27th day until the Tuesday, November 5th, 2024 election. So that means, folks, it is quickly winding down. And let me tell you why I'm pissed off. I'm really pissed off because we were supposed to start episode 301 because it fell on Sunday before the Muncie City Council meeting. I knew I was going to have to do Muncie. I knew it. And then I was going to do the Muncie meeting on Monday. I was going to do the Madison County meeting on Tuesday. And then tonight was supposed to be our first look, starting to dive into more national news because we're 27 days away from the election. I need to be talking about some national news. We have the second biggest, craziest hurricane that we've ever seen getting ready to hit Florida after we just had Helene hit last week and did all that damage. Now they are right in the middle of going through that again. And there are going to be places that this hurricane is going to just completely wipe off the map. And so we should be focusing on that and talking about that. But we can't because the dirty, crooked crooks in Madison County and elsewhere are doing the nonsense. Let me tell you something that just absolutely pisses me off. My mother just sent me, my mom will be watching, she'll be at her house doing what she's doing, watching things, and she will send me things to look at on Messenger or through text or whatever. And she sent me a quick little video, and maybe tomorrow we might look at this because this has to do with a little bit of everything. It has to do with local stuff, it has to do with national stuff. But it was a video of a man whose house was being searched illegally, not by the police, but by the judge that wrote the warrant. Now, I've not watched it all, so I can't commentate on it. I think what it is the man is in the middle of going through a divorce or something, and his soon-to-be ex-wife's mother or mother-in-law or some relative is the judge, and she's violating him, and they're fighting that. But dude, this shit's going on everywhere. Today, someone sent me a video from Arizona where one of our great viewers, Tim Dalton, I believe, sent me a video from a council meeting in Arizona where a person was removed for speaking. Okay. And it's happening everywhere. So it's not just here. And people, I'm telling you, when I get people that tune into these shows and they're like, well, wait a minute, you're talking about Muncie and I live in Crawfordsville. You're talking about Muncie and I live in Peoria, Illinois. Or you're talking about Madison County and I live in Randolph County. Listen, it all is important because from state to, first of all, local, city to county, county to town in Indiana, we are all under the same law here in the state of Indiana. So what is going on and is good in Muncie and Delaware County and Henry County and Newcastle and Spiceland and Alexandria and wherever all over East Central Indiana, it's good in the north and the south of Indiana. So what we're dealing with, you you also could be dealing with, and we can teach you how to walk around that. But even if you live out of state, I know that laws are different and different jobs that officials have are different, but the core basic belief of being a citizen, being able to have access to the government, being able to redress your government, and being able to speak up and say, hey, you work for me, that is the basic block and what we talk about. And so we build that foundation on that. And they are trying to destroy this everywhere, from the local towns, the smallest cities, the smallest counties, the medium-sized towns, cities and counties, the largest cities, towns and counties, all the way up to the different states, the bigger states, the smaller states, the medium states, all the way up to the federal government, and hell, all across the world. They are trying to defeat us, folks. This is a war. If you do not believe that, if you do not believe and understand that this is a war between good and evil, you are sadly mistaken. And for those of you that are believers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you're not a believer, if you're not spiritual, if you're not religious, that's your walk. I'm not beating you over the head with it, but you still have to say something is going on here. And so that is what we're going to be focusing on. What happened in Madison County last night was insane. And for everyone saying, well, why were you there? You're not from Madison County. I will tell you why I'm there. Because you don't ask Scott Swan from WTHR, what are you doing reporting on a story from Crown Point? What are you doing reporting on a story from Evansville? I'm a political commentator. You don't have to like it. It is what it is. That's what we do. I've been doing it. I'm not going away. I'm here. Okay. And so this is what we do. And the thing is, I had people that were reaching out and asking for help. I didn't like what I was hearing. For the last couple of months, meetings, they've been treating these people like trash for the last year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. Madison County officials have been treating their citizens like trash. And I wanted to go over there and stand in solidarity with them. I wanted to go over there to support them. And I wanted to go over there to redress the government, which is my First Amendment right. My First Amendment right doesn't say it stops at the county line. It doesn't say, oh, by the way, if you were born in Ball Memorial Hospital, you can't go speak in Texas. Bull crap. That does not work that way. So that's why I was there. But without further ado, we're going to bring on the guest. No, she's not a guest. She's like a lamp. She's here all the time. Contributing correspondent.
I want to be a lighthouse.
What?
I want to be a lighthouse.
You're in the lighthouse.
I don't want to be a lamp. I want to be a lighthouse.
I get it. Okay. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So Alva would say the lighthouse.
Yeah.
And I'm amazed at the people have asked me that same thing. Well, Chris was just there to be thrown out. Chris just came to cause trouble. I'm thinking to myself, okay, even if he was, how many men were in that room?
Not many.
And Chris has to step up and say, hey, Ben, maybe you should quit talking to a female like that.
Yeah. I mean,
so even if anybody wants to believe all that nonsense, if anybody can tell me that it was appropriate in the way that Ben was, discussing his behavior with Lisa, no. Ben deserved to be told to shut his mouth. People should have seconded Bethany Keller. Ben's the one that was the problem. Ben's the one that needed to go out.
I'm telling you, I have, there were 2 plainclothes, Cheryl. There were 8 officers, not to mention the corrections officers that were there. There were 8, and that counts Beeman. I'm counting Beeman. Counting the elected sheriff, there were 8 police officers in that room when I walked into the room. And on top of merit deputies. And then I think there were at least 2 or 3 or maybe 4 jailers. And so, listen, I get this all the time. And it to the point it doesn't even bother me anymore. I made a joke about it last night when I was messaging with Kate and Brandon. And oh, by the way, everybody, I'm not gonna, I can't say what, but if you're praying kind of people, keep Brandon and his family in your thoughts and prayers. That's all I'm going to say about there. It's nothing crazy, just just an unspoken prayer request. He's still around. We haven't ran him off or whatever, but they're just dealing with a lot of stuff, partly to do with the storm and family and things like that. So if you could just keep them in your thoughts and prayers. Brandon will return. He will be back here. He's just doing a lot of stuff right now. He and his wife are both in graduate school. He's now moved and has to drive a little bit. So he's very much a part of us, what we do here. And he's contacting us and communicating behind the scenes and helping out with stuff like that. So he is very much a part of the show here still. So he will be back, but we're giving him the space to do what he's got to do, and just keep him in your thoughts and prayers and all of that. So I'd like to ask that. But I was in the message I sent to them last night. I got on and I was like, oh, I went in there and I got arrested for the clicks and views, because people say that all the time. And the bottom line is, I don't go seeking this stuff out. People call and say, hey, we're dealing with this. Will you come over here and will you help? Will you do this or whatever? And used to make me feel weird, but it doesn't anymore, because there's nothing wrong with it. I didn't go over there to say anything. I didn't walk in and sign up to even speak. I walked in there to sit right in there. I wasn't sitting there and just started yelling out. First and foremost, I hate when Ben Gale says you're disrupting the meeting. What he is sadly mistaken about, disrupting the meeting would be when they're sitting there discussing a line item that they're going to pay for the commissioner, or a line item they're going to pay for the auditor's office. And I blurt out, and I'm like, hey, that would be disrupting the meeting. They're not discussing any business. At that time, the business had ceased and they had moved into public comments. They allowed public comments. You got up and spoke. Okay. You got up and spoke. And then after you, Lisa Rinker got up and spoke. And 39 seconds, I counted today, 39 seconds into Lisa Rinker speaking, he interrupted her. He interrupted her 39 seconds. And the reason he interrupted her was because he wanted to say, well, I don't think what you're saying during public comment is appropriate. He right there violated her First Amendment right, because he's trying to tell her, as an elected official, to me, I don't know if she looks at him as having authority or not. I look at him as a piece of trash. She might think he's got some authority. He, in my opinion, violated her First Amendment right because he interrupted her and tried to tell her what she should think, what she should talk about, and tried to direct her speech. 39 seconds into it. And when that happened, the audience gasped. If he doesn't think that kind of behavior if he doesn't think that's going to draw criticism from the audience, he is a joker. So then she starts speaking again. And when she starts speaking again, this time he allowed her to speak for 1 minute and 20 seconds. Woo! He allowed her to speak for 1 minute and 20 seconds. And then he interrupted her again. And when he interrupted her again, the audience responded again. And he said, well, she's already taken up her 2 minutes. To which point I said, 2 minutes? And he looked at me and he said, be quiet. And I was like, I am, you'll be fine. And then he said, please don't interrupt our meeting. And I said, please you. And he said, that's your third warning. Dude, this is what, and I'm going to let Katherine go on this because I want to hear what Katherine's got to say, and I want you guys to hear what Katherine's got to say. But I'm going to tell you, I made a post and I sent this out to a couple of my friends in the media today. And I'm really, really trying to get some traction on this because the people in Madison County really, really, really need the help of everybody. If you're a citizen in Madison County and you can't make it out to the meetings once a month, something is wrong. Please, Madison County, I am begging you, start attending these meetings. We have to pack it. You know what's going to shut them down is if you poll a Muncie on the Whale Sustainable Product Deal. You're going to have to show up with 1,200 people to one of their meetings and scare the living shit out of them peacefully, meaning scare by having the numbers. That's what it's going to take. And it's going to take the media. Today, I wrote a piece and I sent it out to the media. And I want to read this and then I'm going to kick it over to Katherine and she can talk the remainder of the time. When Brandon and producer Kate and I were bitching about House Bill 1338, when we were bitching about this from the rooftops, screaming it, making videos, I did weeks worth of lives about it. I went down and talked to Rob Kendall on 93.1. I was on the largest conservative radio program in Indiana, talking about how this was unconstitutional. I was reaching out and talking to state senators and talking to state representatives. And the reason being was because I was worried that it would be unconstitutionally used. Could I cock my head to the side and squint deeply enough to where I could possibly see a situation in which something similar to House Bill 1338 could be used to stop a situation or two? Could there be things that could go on that would be out of control where something would need to happen? Yeah, I'm a reasonable person. I can understand that. But that did not happen last night. When we were bitching about this bill, and Katherine got in on the act, and Cindy got in on the act, and Cheryl McKinney got in on the act, and every one of you that were getting in on the act and doing the same thing, Stumblefoot and Alva, and all of you posting and talking and commenting and talking to representatives. When we were griping about this, what we were griping about is what happened last night. When we said that it would not be used to keep meetings running smoothly, instead it would be used as a weapon to violate the First Amendment right of citizens who dared to hold Indiana's elected, child petulant officials accountable. When we said that that's how it would be used, that was 100% what we were talking about. We knew this would happen. And this is exactly what I'm referring to. And I know a lot of you have seen it. We're going to watch it tonight. We're going to go all throughout this. But I want to just talk about a real quick couple points of interest. The meeting at Madison County, okay, that meeting at the Madison County, the meeting that Madison County Council President Ben Gale continued to tell me and others that we were interrupting was first interrupted by him. I've already told you that. But really, there was no business being interrupted because we were in the public comment section. I've already told you that, all right? But it was Gale who interrupted that citizen twice. Told you that, all right? Now, what's very important and what people need to look at is how out of control Councilor Gale appeared to be. I'm fired up and I'm yelling and I'm hot and I'm loud and I'm talking about it tonight. Gale was even more out of control than I am now. He was acting like a rabid dog. The way that he was barking out orders and bashing the gavel. I'm going to order one of these gavels and one of these things, and I'm going to show you. That thing pops up off the table when he hits it. There's no reason for this man to act that way. I even called him out. I said that was violent during the meeting. During the meeting, I said, you can hear me say it. I was like, man, that was violent. You need to calm down. There's no reason for him to act that way. Okay, that's very scary. And what Katherine's saying is right. As a man, I wouldn't want to send my wife or my mother or a daughter to go be, or sister to be a part of that. There's no way I would allow, if I was Bethany's husband, and I'll be honest, even Jody or Diane, I would have a real problem with how that man acts. I just don't believe that he knows how to conduct himself appropriately. It is unbelievable. He's out of line to the point that a fellow counselor, Bethany Keller, had to call point of order and motioned to remove Counselor Gale. Now, nobody seconded that. Everyone's like, wait, you got to vote on that. No, they don't have to vote on it because she's the only one that has any spine or backbone. And any question I've ever had about Bethany Keller is removed. I know Bethany probably doesn't like my style and she's all goody-goody, and I get it. It takes all kinds, but I'll tell you this. She doesn't have to like me, but I like and respect her. And I'm telling you, she moved up a lot of notches in my book. She was a badass last night. And I'm very appreciative of her and the action she tried to take. But worst all was, we now know that John Beeman has been completely neutered. All right. John Beeman is neutered. He's out of it. Through his actions last night, he let the citizens of Madison County know that he is no longer your sheriff. Instead, he's nothing more than Counselor Gale's neutered lapdog. He is the head of a feelings police protective agency, protection, and the only thing they're there to protect are the elected officials of Madison County. And what's really disgusting is, last night when all this was happening, I was worked up and I was concerned for them because they were talking about lowering the amount of money that the deputies, it was a very convoluted thing, because I was mad because Ben Gale was interrupting Lisa Rinker because she was speaking for the officers. And then Beeman did exactly what he did. And he proved himself to be nothing more than a neutered lapdog. But he will soon realize, because we will deal with this through court. And the damage that this has done and will continue to do to, I hope, to the people's faith in John Beeman, it's unfortunate. Being the lapdog for Counselor Gale is not something that I would want to be known as. To each their own, I guess. But until being that lapdog starts to violate my rights or anyone else's, and then that has to be dealt with. Okay, that has to be dealt with. And I'm telling you right now, Beeman made a fool of himself when he stood at that podium and he said, this doesn't give us discretion. Officers in the state of Indiana have discretion on misdemeanors. And if Beeman, the big U.S. Marshal or whatever he was, if he doesn't know that and you guys have him as a sheriff, I would be scared to death. I'll put it to you this way. John Sproles knows he has discretion on misdemeanors. John Sproles knows that he has discretion, and I call him the FNG. So if Beeman wants to be lower than John Sproles, continue down the path you are. But, I don't know. I rest, and we'll go on to Katherine from here.
So
welcome.
A couple of things, if Kate's with us, I've sent her a couple of things. So I know there's a fair amount of Madison County people watching, and I appreciate all the Delaware people in Henry County that join us and do participate in this and give their feedback. I'm always appreciative to all of you. But there is a cartoon that I want to start this segment off that I sent to Kate. It's the very first one. And I want people to understand why this has become such a passionate movement for me. And a cartoon pretty much shows this circus show. And I don't know, take a minute. Dave Sargent sent this to me. Take this in. Do people understand what's happening? Chris, can you explain this?
Yeah. Okay, so there's nothing else. It says, what if he doesn't show up? Then we spend his money any way we want. And so basically what you
see that hand down there taking the chips from the voters? Yeah.
And this is an amazing cartoon. For those of you that don't know Gary Varvel, he's an amazing political cartoonist out of Indianapolis. He's probably the only conservative that is connected to the Indy Star, and he does amazing work. But this is a great piece here. And so what we've got basically is we've got a couple donkeys and a couple elephants. So they're being the Democrats and the Republicans, and they're sitting around this poker table. And, we, the voter, we have a seat at this table. And we are at this table here. And they're basically saying, well, wait a minute. What if he doesn't show up? And the other one's saying, well, we'll spend his money any way we want. And I'm telling you that money and power and money, and it kind of goes together. And so, I don't know which one's more important. It just depends on which person you're talking to. Some people are more concerned about the power. Some people are more concerned about the money. But to me, it's two sides of the same coin, very much like being Democrat and Republicans, two sides of the same coin. They don't care. It's not about them versus them. It's about them versus us.
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at it, the head of it's John Richwine. Over to the side
Yeah.
is Slick Rick.
I didn't
Over
know
here
you
with
were-
the buck teeth is Todd Culp. It's the reality. You
Yeah.
just have no idea.
Yeah.
Last night I'm watching the PowerPoint. Ben praises Todd Culp that he is the master to the spreadsheet. And I'm surprised nobody called this out. And I want you to know, I don't know how much more Bethany Keller could have taken last night. She takes the beating like I've never seen before.
It scares me.
But I will tell you, she should never, ever give up.
Yeah.
Because she truly is the voice of the people. I am disappointed in Jody Norg.
Yeah.
I'm disappointed in Mikhail Vaughn. I'm disappointed, which the other ones I'm not surprising, but anyone who couldn't second her motion. Now, most likely the motion would have failed because the swamp holds 4 and we only hold 3. But the point would have been proven. Your president, councilman, is out of control. He's the one that's causing the chaos.
Yeah.
He's the one that's causing the community to be upset.
Yeah.
So, I'm actually speechless because Jody ran her campaign that she's for the people and going to be their voice. Mikhail Vaughn did the same thing. I can't say that the other ones did. Now, I will tell you, Bethany has remained that course. She says, we work on a budget. We have kids. We have to live this certain way. And she has stayed true to her word through and through. And I can tell you there is only one thing that I have never agreed with on Bethany too. I will never agree with Bethany on, but I understand where Bethany comes from too, is when Russ Willis wanted his raise. And she was in favor of it. And that's what?
Yeah.
But you know what? We're going to agree to disagree.
Sure.
And that's okay. I'm not doesn't make her a bad person. She held the cards. She made the best decision she felt was right for the county, right? She listened to the constituents. Doesn't mean she's always going to vote our way. She's the one holding all the cards. But she has come to the table. She did speak up and say enough is enough. You're the one that's causing the ruckus, not the people.
Yeah.
And so I want to, but for the people who are sitting out there, I want you to understand you have rights. Bethany Keller made that clear. You have rights. So the second slide, I want people to understand up here that I want Kate to put up. This is in conclusion. Okay. These are studies. These are recent studies from May 8th of 2024. When government bodies establish public comment periods, they must adhere to fundamental First Amendment principles. They cannot shut down or silence speakers simply because they offer a disfavored viewpoint or criticizes government officials. The essence of a free society is that members of the public have the ability to voice the opinions, including ones that are critical of government officials. Don't run for something if the heat is going to get too hot in the kitchen. You have a voice. You have a right to go to that podium. This sign-in sheet is the most ridiculous and absurd thing I've ever seen. I don't care. Put whoever you want to be down there. They can't tell you that's not your name, but you should be able to speak. The next slide that I just want to reinforce
real quick
to the
before we go on to the other slide, keep that up there for 1 second, because I've seen a couple people say this, and we say this all the time, but it is important for people to know. Number one, just so everyone's clear again, in a public meeting in the state of Indiana, I know this is ass backwards or bass backwards, however you want to say it, but just to make sure everyone's aware, Ben is right. In a regular public meeting, they do not have to allow citizens to have a public comment section. The only time they have to give us a public comment section is if they're talking about new money or it's a public hearing. And those times, then they have to allow it. However,
and that's basically what they're doing.
Sure. And that's exactly. Well, that being said, 99% of them do offer public comment sections. Now, what's pertinent to here to this picture is if they do offer the public comment, when they do say, okay, we are offering it, once they crack that door open, now it's got to come wide open. You got to bust the hinges off the door off the hinges, because once they open it, now they cannot stop comment, because you have a First Amendment right, and anytime they try to stop is viewpoint discrimination, and that is a First Amendment rights violation. That is a problem. But number two, and probably most important in my opinion, is when you have these people and they say, he can't tell you, oh, well, it's about new money. You've got 3 minutes. He's saying you got 3 minutes. Shut up. Let her babble on. Let someone get up and talk about the dark side of the moon for 3 minutes and let them sit down. Think about how much easier last night's meeting would have been if he would have just done that.
Well, and he's so arrogant that he has to hit the timer.
Yeah, right.
I mean, that is about as rude and disrespectful as they come. We're not in speech class. So he wants to just keep tapping that timer, and that's just ridiculous. Then we go on to the next thing, and I just want people to be aware of their rights. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely.
Again, judicial review refers to the power of the Supreme Court to review and determine the constitutionality of a laws or actions taken by the government. In this case, the Supreme Court ruled that a city ordinance imposing restrictions on public meetings is unconstitutional. So this House Bill 1338 is going to have to be challenged at some point because it's unconstitutional. Somebody asked today, Chris, if you can give a quick synopsis. Who is J.D. Prescott? Okay,
so J.D. Prescott is just a state. All right, so in the state of Indiana, we have, like the federal government, you have the Congress, you have Senate, and you have the House of Representatives. At the state level, we also have the State General Assembly. That's the state house. You have state senators and state representatives. In the state of Indiana, what? Oh, there he is, the JD, the cat. We have, in the state of Indiana, we have 50 state senators from all over the state. They have districts. There's 50 state senators, and we have 100 state representatives. J.D. Prescott is the representative of District 33, which makes up parts of Henry County, Delaware County, Randolph County, Jay County, and Blackford County. And J.D. Prescott has been elected. His first term in office started in November of 2018 because they don't take office in January. The state representatives take office the day after Election Day in November. So whoever wins on Election Day in November, state representatives, and a lot of people don't know this, their first day in office, like this year, they're up for re-election. JD's up for re-election this year. And I'm going to have his opponent on next week. But if JD wins, or if his opponent wins on Tuesday, November 5th, they go down and are sworn in at midnight that night. And then they start the next day. And so JD's first term in office started in November of 2018. This will be his third re-election if he's re-elected. And starting at the beginning of this year, he authored a bill, House. It's one of his only ones. He's really a do-nothing. He's offered House Bill 1338, which is a quote-unquote decorum bill, which allows our local governments to violate our rights. very similar to what they did to me. And basically in November of 2017, I was arrested in a council meeting very similar to last night in Winchester, and it resulted in a federal civil rights violation lawsuit, and I came out victorious in that. So it was stupid when they did it then. What this law does is it gives them a false sense of protection, like they're covered by the law, and they're still going to get sued. I mean, I am talking to my legal team about this as we speak. I sent them emails last night, and I'm in the process of going through all of that now. You guys will know as soon as I know what we're going to plan to do. But
So,
okay, that's breakdown.
which takes me on to the next part, Kate, on those pictures. People are asking, I heard this a little bit on your show last night. It is posted. So right above, all the way to the left there, if you're looking at your screen, the second one down, that is actually the resolution of the decorum or whatever, right? So we'll go to so I do want people to know, I do take a picture of this board every time I go in now anymore because they don't post things. They say they've got it posted. So I'd encourage others to take a picture of that. Miss Crooms kind of taught me, that. So I do that. So when we go on to the next one, I just want to show you on the next picture, this is how it originally looked. So this, before I got walked out last month.
Last month.
This is what was up there. If you look at the top, not that we're going to zoom in on this, there's no ordinance number up there. There's no resolution number. Okay. And then Kate, if you can just flip the page, this is page 2 of garbage, and then the next page. So this is an interesting page because there's only 3 council members who've signed it. But after watching our podcast, when I got walked out the last time, there are now 4. Now, I want you to know that Jody Norick has never, ever said, okay, Bethany Keller is an absolute not okay. And then Mikhail. So the 4th flunky they got to sign, that's one of the swamp people. But, now they all 3 have stood pretty firm on that. Bethany's been extremely vocal about that. Even last night, she wanted the people to go first because she knew the meeting was going to go late. And they didn't want that to happen. And so I just want you to see that originally when I got walked out, there were only 3 signatures on there. So they don't even set anything up, right?
So real quick, folks, let's make sure you understand what she's saying. When she was walked out of the meeting last month illegally in a violation of her First Amendment rights, and that was under the Gale's security bitch team, the Beeman and Co. Okay, when they walked her out, she took a picture of this and was like, wait a minute, there's only 3 names on this. And we talked about it and we posted it up like this. And then the next time she went back to the meeting and looked, ding, 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 they had 4 on there. Because let me tell you what the difference is. 3 is not a passing vote. So 4 signatures would be passing, but 3 signatures is a problem.
Yeah, they're saying they passed it in the meeting. It doesn't matter. You didn't put up the correct document. Who's responsible to put up the document? The secretary of the records is the auditor's office. But yet, Rick Gardner, he was getting paid $60,000 in 2021. That man has got his salary up to $75,000 now. 75,000. Even on the year that we had no pay raises across the board, he was able to sneak himself in a raise. Same for Todd Culp. Todd Culp's got up significantly too. Every person in that auditor's office has gotten significant raises in the past 4 years. And so I want you to understand, they've passed this thing, but it's kind of a hogwash. But the next page, which you can't see very well, that Kate goes on to, this is what we're fighting for. This is ARPA money. Okay. We have about $17 million left on ARPA money. ARPA was meant for the people. It was meant to reduce the strains of the people, meaning that it should have gone towards our taxes. It should have gone through to Sheriff Beeman for deputies. It should go to the coroner's office to build a morgue or give them vehicles. This is what this whole thing was for. What I'm so concerned about, though, is the paper reports that they need 8.03 million and they will be leaving 9 million behind. And I hope, Bethany, if she's watching or whoever's watching, I don't understand how they came back and asked for 9 million. They said they needed 8.03 million. So now they're asking for 9 million. Well, where's that difference at? Now, here's the pressure. I'm asking anybody on Madison County to tell your friend, tell your grandmother, I don't care who you tell, to come to this meeting and pack this room so full, because they have to have this spent before the end of the year. Meaning they have to spend all 17,000 or million, or they have to give it back. They've been making, what they did is they have sat this, they've made money off the interest. They're using that interest money to put it into, general fund, rainy day fund, their pet projects, their pockets, whatever they want to do. And so they were supposed to be relieving us for the last 3 years, but instead Madison County was only one of 3 counties that raises taxes in a pandemic. During a pandemic, Madison County raised taxes. So this is what we're fighting for. This is why I'm so adamant. This money is out of control and it did not go back to the people. It did not go back to them. 4 million in trails? Are you kidding me? People can barely put food on the table. Property taxes are off the chain. What are you doing with trails? I'm not saying it's not important, but the time is not right. That's the difference. And so, yes, I want people to be healthy. Yes, I want people to get moving, but I want people to be able to go through Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I want people to have food and shelter first.
Right.
So if Kate goes to the next picture, she's probably tired of going through these pictures.
Don't try to talk too intelligent. You're talking to people who won't. I'm not talking about the audience. I'm talking about these elected officials.
So here it is, $9 million. Now, here's the thing, Chris. I don't know. Maybe you can give some input. This was put on the table in September.
Okay.
They were called on it because they didn't advertise properly.
Yeah.
So they had to pull it off.
Yeah.
Now we've made so much noise. It was supposed to go last night, and suddenly everybody showed up and it was pulled off the table. So now we're going to go into November, and this council has not met in December since I can't remember when. So it's in Bethany is another one who drove the message home. And I do believe Jody, I'm not going to just pounce on people if they don't deserve credit. They said we really should meet 12 months a year. Bills still continue on in December. And so this is what I'm saying. I don't understand. It's going to get pushed through. They're going to have to force through 2 of these. I will say last week, they had a little blurb put up on that bulletin board about a little emergency meeting about this money. Well, nobody knew about it. I mean, nobody in the public knew that this thing was going on, and they don't have to post it in the paper but this is the constant way they do this kind of money requests and how they do all this money. So I just want everybody to be aware of that. And then Kate, the next page, I'm probably almost done here.
I saw that from Diego, Heather. You're right.
Okay, that might be is at the end of all the pictures I sent you.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Okay, so I think everybody understands that's the whole purpose of why I've stayed the course with this. All I wanted was a morgue. I wanted the morgue to be built without taxpayer dollars. It was the ARPA funds. We needed vehicles to save on transportation every month. You heard the coroner last night talk about how expensive the transportation is. I was again trying to save the taxpayers but it just never seems to evolve that ARPA funds should be going to the morgue. People were complaining today on social media saying, why can't it go in the jail? Rich Wine promised that to go in the jail. I've got all the records that Rich Wine promised for it to go into the jail. He said it numerous times in the Herald Bulletin that it was supposed to go in the jail. And now he's backpedaling saying it's not going in the jail. I mean, that's on rich wine right there. So, I just want people to think I'm not trying to drum up something that's not supposed to be happening. There's plenty of space
Right.
out there. So then we can go into the meeting now. But if you wanted to know why the council hates me so much, and I'm not talking about Jody or Bethany, I'm talking, and Mikhail is on the hot or cold. It's because I just wanted them to do the right thing. I
Right,
want
yeah.
the people to be better for it. This abuse, and I have nothing to gain from any of this. I can go on about my life and move on.
Yeah.
But you, the people,
Right.
deserve better.
Yeah.
And so you've got $17 million at stake, Madison County. If you do not show up at this meeting, you are just like that poker table. I'm telling you
That
right
is
now.
absolutely accurate.
And do not let them think that this county is a cartoon flick.
Yeah.
So, as we're going into the holidays, people are going to start to worry about utilities. We're getting cold. Well, if you don't show up at Thursday's meeting and Tuesday's meeting next in November, it's the second Tuesday. I don't even know what the date is. It's always the second Tuesday of every month at 6 p.m. If you do not show up at that meeting and tell these people, we demand that money be distributed to the people as we are going into the holidays, then you have not done your job as a citizen. Because I can guarantee you this, Bethany is going to do her job to say the public has the right to speak and be heard. That she has shown us.
Well, that's the thing, and that's definitely true. And I'll tell you, the thing there is, Kate, just when you get a chance, you don't have to rush this, but can you put the cartoon or the donkey thing in the overlays just when you get a chance? First of all, I want to say, when Katherine's talking about them meeting in December and them not meeting, the council not meeting, I remember back when they wouldn't do that, like back in 2019 and 2020. And I thought, man, this is so weird. For example, all right, in the month, let me tell you, in the month of December.
But we pay them for 12 months.
Yeah, you pay them all 12 months.
I'm telling you, they're getting paid. That's their bonus check in December, I guess.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. So,
and here's the other thing I want to point out to people as you're looking at something. Last night, Jody said she cut the budget by 200,000, not 207. Do you know that they approved 250,000 in new money? This is not how you do a budget.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's
the whole thing I just want people to start paying attention to. Great, you cut that by, but wait till you come in January or February next year. She'll spend that 1 month. They'll approve that, and everybody gets an approval. But you know why Beeman doesn't get an approval? Because he beat his boy Emery.
Yeah.
I don't care what, and I don't even want to hear anybody talking about, how's Katherine feel about Beeman? Listen, Chris and I are just going to have to agree to disagree and let it all shake out in the end. But I'm telling you right now, because he was not the Swamps pick, he beat his boy Emery. That is why he has had to stand up there and beg for that money. And you know what's more disgusting? Let me tell you.
Wait. What do we disagree about? You disagree? What did he do right last night?
He fought for that money. Now listen.
Oh, no. I don't care about. No.
We're not getting off. You're not derailing me just yet. You're not.
Take all of their money. Don't give those police officers another dime until they can protect our constitutional rights. What did he do right about the rights, though?
I got to tell you the one thing that was most disgusting while he was up there begging for that money.
Yeah.
Scott Mellinger was within 4 feet of that podium and never once got up and defended his officers and said, give them the money. That is disgusting.
That was weird.
Because I will tell you something.
Weird.
I may not be the coroner in this county anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. But I'll tell you something. I think I got up there and said, you better give that money to the coroner's office.
Yeah.
Now, if I hear all these police officers say what an amazing sheriff he was, what an amazing boss he was. Well, I'm telling you right now, a lot of you are in that brotherhood who are still left behind from his administration. He didn't get up there and say a word for you people. What's that say about Scott Mellinger?
Yeah.
And then he
That
sends
was
me a
so
friend
weird.
request on Facebook today. Get out of here.
Yeah, that's so weird. That's so weird.
But
That's so weird.
anyways. But so I just wanted to point some of those pearls out because I know
Yeah.
some people will go to bed, but I wanted to get those right off the top. And then we can dive into the circus show that took place last night.
Yeah. Real quick, all I was going to say was, in the month of December, Delaware County commissioners meet twice. The Delaware County Council meets twice. Randolph County commissioners meet twice. Randolph County Council meets once. Muncie City Council meets once. Anderson City Council meets once. Henry County Council meets like 4 times in the month of December. Randolph County meets on the 30th, and then they meet on the 2nd. I mean, I don't even like these people, but you're like, this is the same thing in Muncie when I'm like, man, Dan is so bad he makes me defend Nora. I don't like either one of these, but it's like Randolph County sucks so bad, but Madison County somehow is worse than them because they refuse to work for an entire month. Are you kidding me? That is insane.
Well,
you know what they could do? Here's what they need to do. They're worrying and they're looking at taking some money. All 7 of those council members need to forfeit their salary. And I guess until the sheriff's department can stand up for constitutional rights, they need to forfeit their salaries too. But go ahead.
Well, here's the thing. Bethany's willing to meet, so she gets her paycheck.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm fine
it's
with
the
that.
difference. If you're willing to meet and they won't call for you guys to have a quorum, that's different.
Yeah.
They should still get it. But the people who just don't come, they shouldn't get their money.
Yeah, that was yeah.
I mean, they wanted to scream about ghost employment and everything else. Well, Russ is doing a fine job. Hey,
what do they do?
I got to ask you something real quick. I'm sorry, this is totally off subject, everybody. I've got somebody who wants to get on. It says, why won't it let me watch the video? It says it's restricted.
Where are they trying to watch from?
Well, I just shared it on my Facebook. I don't know. I just shared your thumbnail.
Give them the YouTube link.
All right, let me go find it. Okay, we can move on.
Okay. Katherine, I'm going to send real quick here. I'm going to send you what to send them.
Okay.
Guys, it's crunch time, and any dollar that you
okay, right here. Doop. Okay. I'm sending to you in Messenger.
All right.
Where are you?
So anyways, I'll send that on. So I just kind of wanted to throw some of that stuff out there. Cheryl McKinney made a very excellent and valid point. She said Scott ain't going to say anything because then Stephanie might have to actually beg for her money
right.
that she's supposed to have
true.
it.
That's true. That is true. I sent it to you.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing there. So it's kind of a rodeo show. So I'm excited to dive into what happened.
I'm okay. I'm pulling this up here. Okay. What is that? All right. So the first thing that happened that I was really put off with, and I'm put off by how they do it. They do this a lot. Is they start off with an admonishment to the citizens, like this is what you're not supposed to do, and that's basically that's how they set the tone. Ben starts off telling everybody, like, talking to them like they're children. Let's.
For clarification on Robert's rules, there's a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Councilwoman Keller has now made a motion to change. Would she need to make a motion to amend?
And they were so stupid about that.
Increases in cost due to inflation. At that point, law enforcement will help you with that.
Okay, here we go.
To remind everybody, this is the primary function of this body. We have been elected by the taxpayers to go through this process.
No. This is the first thing I wanted. This wanted me to wreck off the road. The primary function of an elected official, of an elected public servant, of one of these lowly, soulless individuals, is to represent the people that they were elected by. If they can't even, that's the building block, the most basic principle. That. And that is where these 6 of 7 people do very poorly in. This is where they do very poorly in. And what I don't understand is, like, I would like to message Ben. I would like to have a correspondence with him. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am going back in there next month. I will be there next month they meet. And whenever that dumbass walks out of that building for the last time, I am going to be there clapping and clapping and clapping, because what he needs to do is leave and never look back. But I want him to know, just because he runs out of that door in 2 months does not mean he's absolved from whatever stupid crap he's done right now. So just FYI, Mr. President. But let's listen to this nonsense that he says. So that was the first thing right off the bat. He's like, well, our primary function is the budget, and so we can shut all you guys up because no. Their primary function is to represent the people, and 6 of the 7 of them do really shitty job at that.
And adopting a budget. For the first couple of years that I was on the council, this was a very difficult process. There was never enough money. We weren't always able to give pay increases. The last couple of years, it's been a little bit easier. Unfortunately, this year we face inflation, increases in cost due to inflation. We are looking at less money, less revenue because of out of our investments.
Right there, because you're going to take away the ARPA money that they've been making interest off, and that should have never been happening for the people. The people should have been getting some relief, and that is crap right there. Absolute crap.
Yeah.
And that's my whole thing. This budget for the last several years should not have been a problem because they had enough ARPA money to spread it around to help the people.
Yeah. Hey, I need my t-shirt too. I went to that whole meeting and got kicked out and got my hands put on me and arrested and all that, and I didn't even get a t-shirt.
Where's Laureen at? Is she paying attention? Is she watching?
Yeah, she said she would give me. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. She said she'd give me one.
In funding coming in, it is less than our estimated increases due to inflation. So that puts us back into a position of having a much more challenging time this year. One thing I guess we can guarantee being on the county council is there will be times that you disappoint or frustrate people because we can't always say yes. And there are cuts that will have to be made. We ended our September meeting with a budget at that time, or a proposed budget at that time, that was still nearly $2 million over budget. So we have a lot of work to do. I would ask the public that's here tonight to be respectful, conduct yourselves in an appropriate manner. We will expect that there's order and decorum in this meeting.
What handbook?
There are times when it will be appropriate and where the law.
What handbook are you talking about, Heather?
Public can speak, primarily under new money.
I know, Cheryl.
Discussions, and we will do those things, but we will ask that you keep your comments limited to those items. We will also ask that you are respectful. You comply with the council resolution and the state law. If an unfortunate circumstance happens where someone's not behaving appropriately, if there's a disturbance from someone in the audience, I will ask you to be quiet or sit down or whatever needs to be said at that point. Any comment trying to correct behavior is a warning. Under state law, you're given 3 warnings, and then you'll be asked to leave. And if you do not leave at that point, law enforcement will help you with that. My hope is that everyone will just behave themselves, conduct yourselves with respect, and allow this council to get through the process that we were elected to do in an orderly fashion. So, with that being said, we'll go on to the auditor's report.
First of all, I thought he was going to say, so any comments you have, we'd appreciate if you just keep them to yourself.
Keep him, yeah, right. That's
I
what he
really thought
wanted
that's
to
where
say.
he was going with that.
Yeah, right.
And believe
right.
me, he was really thinking it, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
And then,
From our office and our views,
you know, the next thing he goes on, I don't need a lecture for you. I know how to behave. What
Yeah.
about his behavior?
Yeah.
I mean, you're instigating it right from the get-go right here. And here's the other thing. Why didn't they bring that prosecutor crap up that they disseminated last month?
Right. Yeah, that we
Yeah, why didn't he bring it up there?
yeah. That we leaked out. I would be, because none of them said anything about it. Now the officers out that I was talking to out in the hallway, that we kind of talked about it very loosely, but that's the thing. Who holds Ben accountable? We hold Ben accountable. The people hold Ben accountable, but they're doing their damnedest to not let us hold him accountable. And where did the handbook come from, Heather Brewer? Is it something from Madison County? I was a police officer for a number of years, so for quite some time, but I don't know if you're just talking about something specifically from Madison County, or I wasn't a sheriff's deputy, but yeah, that's I don't know. But yeah, Rinker, I think Lisa Rinker's on here and said power and control. That's exactly. It's compliance. They want compliance. People like this, Ben Gale has had that air of authority. He feels like he's somebody. This gives him something. And let's be really honest. The elected county council is like one of the lowest forms of elected government. They don't do anything. They're not the legislative body. It's not like city council. These people, basically the only thing they do is the money. And when they do the money so screwed up and they suck at that, like, these people really have very little to go on. So the only little bit of power he gets, I got over on somebody, makes him feel like a big man to go home to his wife or his dog or his, whoever goes home to. That's the little thing that gets him, that makes him feel like a big man, is that he gets to yell at Lisa Rinker. He gets to yell at me. He gets to say, I'm going to clear the whole room. He gets to say shit like, Bethany, he told Bethany she was out of order. You know what I mean? Like, who are you?
He wanted her to be removed. I mean, here's the thing. Bethany's the only one.
Right here, Niles said it. Yeah, right.
That has any integrity.
Yes.
She's the only one that's ran a campaign who stayed true to her word.
Yeah.
The only person who should be president of that council next year should be Bethany Keller.
Yeah. Yes.
And it was interesting because somebody stopped me today in the hospital. That's a whole nother story. And said the reason why, and this is speculation, that Jody Nork is not seconding Bethany or saying anything is because Jody wants to be the next president. And they're pretty sure that Green, Culp, and Grabowski will win since we're so red here. And Culp will be her son-in-law, will be the tipping vote to make sure she gets in that seat. If that truly is the case, I am disgusted with that. I would have never thought that would be part of that affair, but a complete stranger stopped me and asked me today. And I don't even know what to say to that. I don't. And I'm telling you right now, Jonathan Culp should never be in a council seat. And if he is, I'm telling you right now, all you people who vote for him are going to see exactly why.
So
He
real
is
quick,
not equipped enough to do this.
real quick.
And it's nothing about age.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I
He's a
agree
nice
with you.
kid.
Yeah. So who from here is leaving? Ben
Ben
Gale.
Gale, Anthony Emery,
Okay.
and Mikhail Vaughn.
And Mikhail Vaughn's gone. All right, that's weird.
Yeah, he lost by
forgetting it.
14 votes or something.
Okay, I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so Gale, Emery, and Vaughn are out. So who are the Democrats running?
That is Fred Reese, Stephen Holtzleiter, and Rebecca Crooms.
Okay.
Christy Grabowski needs to win.
Christy.
Rebecca Crooms needs to win. And honestly, it needs to be Fred Reese.
All right, so who are the Republicans? Christy?
The Republicans, Christy Grabowski, Scott Green, who is a physician.
Yeah.
Who is supported 150% by Russ. And then Jonathan Culp, who is the son to Todd Culp and the son-in-law to Jody Norick.
Now, aren't there also a couple of libertarians also running?
Not for this.
Libertarian. Brandon Collins. Yeah, Brandon Collins is running. And Lisa, who else is running as a libertarian?
Adam, that's amazing to me when you know how bad somebody loses, and you know specifically like someone loses by 14, and you're like, well, me, my wife, my mother, my father, my brother, I know 15 people that didn't vote for him because he was a dick to someone, to me or my family or whatever. Like that is you know that you're the most like that puts you like almost, you're like a super voter at that point. You're like right there at like being like, you have the most power at that moment because you basically controlled what happened in that section, and that's really powerful. That's a good feeling. I love that. That's amazing. And yes, Bree, you're exactly correct. Vaughn is a creep. He's a very weird person. And I've seen someone say it here, and I am going to ask you this because I know that everybody likes Christy, and I know everyone's saying, and she seems fine to me. I do want to ask the question though, because I have heard several people say it, that Christy and Vaughn are like tied at the hip and are very close. So she's not going to get on and be like him, right?
No, they are not tied at the hip.
Okay.
Let's all back up there a minute.
Okay.
You ever have somebody who just wants to hang on to you?
Yep.
And then you're like, listen, that's great, but I need this space because like, I'm not sure why you're so attached to me.
Yep.
That's how you need to think about it. Like,
yeah.
You just
and listen,
can't.
I could see that out of Vaughn because look in the comments here. How many people, how many females have said Vaughn has creeped me out? He's contacted me. He said inappropriate things. Hell, he sent weird ass messages to Kate or some shit like that. Like he was doing that to a bunch of people that I know.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
no.
But just because Vaughn says, hey, I'm very close to her, that doesn't mean that, because I know that Vaughn also said that he's very close to Bree. You know what I mean? Like, and I know for a fact that he was creeping on her. And so
and this is the thing. Christy Grabowski is a widow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She's a widow. She has grown children and grandchildren. And that's the thing. Christy's just trying to win a race, right? She's not trying to upset anybody in the party. She's trying to get along with everybody. And sometimes you can just be too nice.
Yeah, yeah.
right? But if no, they and I'm not speaking on behalf of Christy Grabowski by
I
any
understand
means,
that.
but I used to think that until I got to know Christy Grabowski, and no, she has not attached her hitch to anybody but her own. She will be like a Bethany Keller. She will speak her own mind.
Yeah.
And I do believe we need Christy Grabowski because that's going to be about the only one that's going to have a backbone on that council that's going to second Bethany.
Good.
And Bethany's going to be about the only one who will second Christy.
Okay.
So if we don't hold the majority, it's still not going to matter. It's still going to be a swamp thing.
Well, but the majority. Okay. So all right. So we've got Bethany Keller. So then, okay.
Here's the thing. So you have a pie and you take out one slice. That's Bethany Keller. That's the only backbone you got on that council.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, get rid of.
And it showed last night, and then it showed in the September meeting, because anybody could have said, "Let Katherine speak for a second." Well, no, we couldn't do that. So clearly, Bethany is the only one willing to take that stance for the people.
So I would say Rebecca, Christy, and Fred.
So Rebecca Crooms, we all know Rebecca Crooms. I mean, if you've watched any of Rebecca Crooms at the council meetings over the city, she's just not having it. If you are not doing right, you are not spending money appropriately. She is certified in this stuff. I believe she's the only council person in Madison County that's certified in this stuff. She goes to the classes. She attends the state classes religiously. She's learning it. She's researching it. So I'm going to tell you something. I don't know if you're going to the polls and you're not sure what to do with the council votes, vote for the women. I'm not dogging any of the men on here. Okay.
Who are
I'm
the
just
three
saying,
women you're talking about?
well, just two. We only got two. So
okay,
that's the thing. You know,
yeah.
And then
so then
the
just
third
going
one, you're either going to have to look at Fred Reese. You're going to have to look at Holzleiter. Holzleiter's never been on there. And you're going to have to look at Brandon Collins. He's a libertarian. But I'm telling you, Green is backed by the swamp. He's going to vote their way. And then you got Culp, who
no, wait, hold on. Marquest Higgins is candidate for commissioner. Yeah, commissioner.
Marquest is running for commissioner.
Oh, and while we've got you paused, Sergeant David Sargent, that's his name. I would love to see your video if you're going to post it or whatever. I would love when you post that. Please let me know. Let me know. I would definitely like to see it. So please let me know about that, because I think you have a really good angle. I actually was looking at your camera last night when I was in there, and so I could see you've got a really good view of everything. I'd like to see that when you get it posted. I can speak for Fred Reese's Fred on the council. Fred's been on the council before, and that's
who Jody beat out.
What?
That's who Jody beat out.
I've been okay with Fred. I know some people don't like him, but I'm fine with Fred. I don't have a problem with him. But I'm just telling. Yeah, right there we go. Hello there, Marquest. Yes, thank you. He is running for commissioner against Rick and Ollie, and so you know what to do there. Listen, folks, this is just like rainwater. Folks, listen. Yep. Rick's gonna win. He's gonna be the commissioner, unless you don't let him.
Well,
you can always just go vote for Marquest.
Here's the thing: people have watched the Larry Savage video, have actually watched this. Okay,
yeah,
it's up to 20-some thousand views. I think it might even be close to 30.
Yeah.
If that many people come out and vote in Madison County, and you actually read your ticket, you will have an entirely new council. Marquest can win. Rebecca Crooms can win. Christy Grabowski can win. You know, these people can win if you read your ballots and don't just go in. And here's the thing for your Republicans that are watching. If you want Christy Grabowski to win, you can't just go in and punch a ticket and say Republican. It will not pick up your school board. It will not pick up your council people. So you must read your tickets in this race.
Yeah, meaning straight. You can't go if you straight party vote. It will not vote for your at large. You can hit the straight party, but then you got to go back and click the 3 council. But don't hit straight party. If you want to vote for all Republicans, which I would not recommend you do, but if you want to vote for all Republicans, go down and select all the Republicans. It's very easy, but don't do that. Go vote for Mark West for commissioner. Vote for Donald Rainwater for governor. Vote for Christie. Vote for Brandon Collins, or vote for Fred Reese. Vote for Rebecca Crooms. I don't care what anybody says. Screw everybody. Vote for Rebecca. To me, she's my person. I know you guys are all friends with Christy. That's great. Vote for whatever, but I don't know her. Vote for Rebecca. Vote for her 3 times. Vote for her 7 times, and to hell with all these people. I would be fine with that. I'd be fine with Rebecca and Bethany on the council.
While we're talking about voting for the council and why this is important, I believe they are a very important part of our government system if they do their job with the money. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that in 2024, this council was in this position and we stayed till 1 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay. They had to cut the budget by $2 million. $2 million. Do you know how much they have given out in new money requests to date?
Ha ha ha. Do you? Yeah. How much?
1.6 million. So yes, they've saved us 400,000 so far, but we are still very young. And I bet you, I'm actually going to guarantee you that by December 31st, we spend the full 2 million. I bet you we come up with that 400, because last night was 250,000 that went through. So if they do 250,000 in November and 250,000 in December, they exceeded what they were supposed to shave off. And I'm going to tell you something right now. This is why there is no budget in Madison County.
Yeah.
Last night's show, Bethany says, when did we get this? Well, they didn't pass it out to anybody. It was elected official after elected official after elected official that went to that podium and said, we haven't seen this.
That is insane.
We're seeing these numbers. Can we wait a minute so I can at least see what we got? And, last year, Linda Smith got up there and she said, well, that's fine. You can cut my budget as long as I can come to you and get more money when I need it, because you've cut it short. And, well, that's not going to work. And they go, yeah, that's fine.
I remember that. Who said it?
That was Linda Smith.
All right. Yeah. All right.
Right.
All right.
Then they give a $17,000 raise to Angie Abel in the recorder's office. But then your cops aren't getting nothing. What is wrong with you people? Okay. So I'm watching this whole thing, and I don't know if Bethany or if any of these guys are watching, but if they picked up, so they had Todd going through the columns, right? And they had him cutting and pasting and putting it over to a new column and everything. And instead of Todd doing an automated sum all the way at the end of the column, he copied the total from one column and then automatically inserted it into the other one. Wouldn't you want to do an auto sum all the way down that Excel to make sure you did copy over your things right, and did it match or did it decrease? It made no sense to me. How do you know your total's right? You have no checks and balances. And so I was just like, and you guys say this man is proficient in doing a spreadsheet. This man didn't even bring the spreadsheet to the meeting, and it was a budget meeting. He had to leave the room, go to his office, get the thumb drive, bring it back, and put it in the computer. Are you kidding me? But elections have consequences. You guys are getting ready to see a rock and rolling auditor. I mean, I don't even know what to say. And here's my other thing. Why didn't we cut Linda Smith's budget? We should have cut that all the way in half. We don't even have an election in 25.
Yeah.
Why does she need all this money?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like she's going through financial reports to make sure people are doing their job right. We clearly know that. Russ hasn't done one in 5 years right. So she doesn't need all that money for 25.
Right.
As a matter of fact, why doesn't she lay some people off for that year, save us some money, and then she can bring them back in 26?
God, that's nuts. That is really crazy.
There's no election in 25.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a year off, thank God.
And she is getting her entire budget. I mean, they nickel and dime a little bit, but nothing worth a nickel.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's kind of the I just kind of want to point these things out. So here we go with the comments.
I want to show you guys something real quick, and then we'll go back and we'll start kind of back where we are, because you guys were talking about the attorney staring and looking and doing all of his weird stuff. I want to show you guys something here. Let me find out where it's at. Give me a second. Let me get this over here. Okay, we're right around in here. Oh, let me see this.
According to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
There it is.
This is not to discuss the Constitution right now.
All right, see this guy? You see him shaking his head there?
I understand
you've
that.
now taken 2 of your minutes to speak to something that's
everything
not.
to do with your money.
Excuse me. Please be quiet.
2 minutes.
This is ridiculous.
You as well.
All right, you see Rick here, and you see Ted here. They are like a before and after commercial to like what happens when you're on meth. Like Rick is like, this is me before I was on meth, and Ted is like, this is me. You know, I'll stop there. That's just my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know what in the hell is going on here, but those two guys are very creepy. My grandmother was watching this, and my grandma was like, I don't like that man. She's like, who's that man? And I was like, who? And she was like, that man in the green shirt. And I was like, it's Rick Gardner. He's the auditor. She's like, I don't like him. So, wait, what's this person saying here? Please wish Karen. Oh my God. Oh, that's horrible. Karen, I hope you guys are safe. Hold on one second. Jesus. I don't know where you are exactly, Karen. If you're down there, be mindful of what's going on. As you guys, Milton just zapped power, went out, going to Saks or save what I have left in phone. Well, that's horrible. I hope you guys are, I hope you're careful down there. So be very careful. And let us know, get a hold of me, or let us know how you do. I hope you're safe. Yeah, so he's nuts, and the whole thing was crazy with these people. I want to go to Katherine's, because we have not played Katherine's little spiel, and I thought it was good. What Katherine got up?
It might have set everybody off.
What?
It might have set everybody off.
Oh, no, it was right, good, to the point. Absolutely. Here we go.
They don't have that all the time. I mean, those are things that we can't put a number on or control. I mean,
so we do have a motion and a second. This is a new money from the general fund, so it is a public hearing item. Is there anyone in the public that would like to speak specifically to this request?
This is going to be on the road officers in jail.
This would be the sheriff.
Overtime, other supplies.
And I'll remind anyone who wants to discuss, if you approach the podium, say your name, where you're from, and you have 3 minutes.
Oh,
See, he
man.
stopped with the
Katherine
address.
Callahan lapel.
Yeah.
Other than the constituents that are here tonight, the officers in this room are the second most important people in this room. When any of us get into trouble, who's the first person we call? It's the officers. Last meeting, we gave $100,000 to the commissioner's office, didn't blink an eye. He didn't have to stand up here and beg for this money. He didn't have to rationalize what he did, and we gave it to him. And now our officers, the men who don't know if they're going home to their families tonight, have to stand up here and beg to be paid. We certainly have some priorities. The amount of new money that has gone through this office in the last 10 months, and all the sheriffs want are to be paid and to be paid appropriately. These are the people who you should be supporting, not the commissioner's office. It's the same thing that happens in the coroner's office. You don't want to pay them until you need them.
If you could keep your
So
comments to
I'm
the topic
saying
of this
that
new money
what has
request,
happened
please.
tonight, if you can pass $100,000.
I like that she just kept right on rolling.
You need to give the sheriff's office
Didn't
what they
even
deserve.
stop.
You guys built a jail far away. They're going to have to transport more people. Again, you're putting them at a higher cost, not them.
Next, please state your name.
I love
where you're
it.
From, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm Lisa Rinker, Alexander.
And listen, Katherine was fired up. I was like, well, Lisa, she's
Very calm.
meek and calm, and she's not gonna, nothing's gonna happen. I was like, he interrupted Katherine, but Katherine just steamrolled right over him. I was like, this will be easy. I didn't think anything about this, man. I didn't think this. I certainly didn't think this would be where something bad happened.
You thought it would be me.
First of all,
I
President
thought,
Doe, I just
yeah.
want to say that this is a blanket comment statement with regard to the new monies. So I trust that is acceptable. First of all, I want to thank the council for giving me and others the opportunity to speak this evening. For sound decisions to be made, I believe it's imperative that everybody's voices need to be
I was
heard.
like, yes.
And that we need to listen to what those voices are saying, whether it be from your fellow council members or from the citizens at large. When I ran for county commissioner in the spring,
You could keep your comments to the new money request. Sure.
it is.
Yeah.
When
Please just discuss this new money.
This is
The whole room is telling you it is.
That is the purview of the chair, and right now, she's
Who
yet
said
to
that?
Comment on anything regarding.
Was that
the specific
Keller?
request that's been made. So
Was that Keller?
What?
Catherine, listen.
I think so. Yeah.
Who says? Listen to what she says here. Listen to what this person says, and tell me if this is Catherine for those, or if this is Keller for those of you guys who know. Listen.
made, I believe it's imperative that
Listen.
everybody's voices need to be heard, and that we need to listen to what those voices are saying, whether it be from your fellow council members or from the citizens at large. When I ran for county commissioner in the spring,
you could keep your comments to the new money request. Sure.
It is.
Right here.
It is.
Yeah.
When
Please just discuss this new money.
Here.
Who gets to decide if the whole room is telling you?
Okay,
That's Bethany.
that is
Bethany.
Bethany, because she said point of order. I didn't hear that the first time. So okay, good on Bethany. I didn't even know that was her. Kick ass, dude. She's awesome. I didn't know that was her last night. So another point to Bethany. Good job, girl.
That is the purview of the chair, and right now, she's yet to comment on anything regarding the specific request that's been made. So I'll let you continue on if you'll get your comments on the
Okay.
topic.
Thank you. When I ran for county commissioner this past spring, I highlighted the role of a public servant. By definition, a public servant is a government official, and qualities of a public servant include leadership, communication, and integrity. We're talking about new monies with the sheriff department. It means that it's discharging your duties and responsibilities with honesty and transparency while serving the best interest of the public. The preamble to the Constitution begins with we,
Here we go.
the people.
Oh,
The
no, not that
government
one.
includes this county council, and we exist because of we, the people. The government exists at our pleasure and our service. Our money pays for all of you to do a job for us. That's why you are called public servants. Each of you works for we, the people, And each of you should have known that when you ran for public office. Without our tax dollars, there will be no job for you to do. According to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
Ma'am, again, this is not to discuss the Constitution right now. What we're discussing right now is
This is viewpoint discrimination.
I
And
understand
you've
that.
now
but-
taken 2 of your minutes to speak to something that's
everything to do
not.
with no money.
Excuse me,
This
please be quiet.
2 minutes.
This is ridiculous.
You as well, please
You'll
do
be all
not
right.
interrupt our meeting.
You'll be okay.
Please be quiet.
Please.
Okay, that's warning number 3. Please do
I-
not speak
No,
again.
that's not 3
Sister-
warnings.
Yes, that is.
No, it's not.
Okay, you can leave now.
You'll be fine.
You're out of order. You can leave
You're
now.
out of order.
No. Sheriff, can you help this
I am
gentleman?
not.
sure
I am
he
not
is. I swear to
violating any.
God.
I am not. No one is in danger.
You
and I am
are
speaking.
disrupting the meeting right now. You're out of order.
You're
Please
not.
leave.
Point of order, we take a vote
Please
as a
leave.
council because this is not appropriate right now.
No,
This is not appropriate. He's like, no, it is appropriate.
it is appropriate. We have someone that's continually interrupting our meeting.
How? Who was continually interrupting the meeting?
Ben Gale.
Literally, yeah. I mean, like I think that he forgets that he like lied there, maybe, or he doesn't know that he did there, or maybe he does, and he just doesn't care. He is. This is so bad, and I feel sorry for Bethany because, like, you know,
He has no
normally
support.
I say it doesn't. It's not about money. But I want to let you people of Madison County know I want to take every dime from these people I can. Now, I maybe we'll see what we can do. I can like donate it back to Madison County and be like, okay, this has to be put in a fund that idiots. Maybe we can buy a morgue with this money or
Only
whatever. but-
Only do it if these people will sign a sheet that says they can never run for an elected office ever again.
Yes.
And that Ted will never be our attorney ever again, or anybody from his firm.
Yeah. I just absolutely, GW.
They don't have
absolutely.
to sign a non-disclosure, just that they'll never run for an elected office again.
Yeah, right. Oh yeah, we wouldn't do non-disclosures. I wouldn't do that. I've been burnt by that once before. But
I mean,
all
these
right.
people hate the public.
Oh yeah, they hate the public. Well, look, all right. All right. So I said my.
But we did
piece
a great job filling the room, people. I want to tell
We
you.
really did. You guys kicked ass with that. I was very happy when I walked in and saw it was like standing room only.
Yeah, I
And
couldn't believe
it was awesome. The amount of people and the people that cheer here in a minute when Bethany does what she does, that was awesome too. All right. What I want you guys to pay damn good attention to here. 1, Bethany's getting ready to make a motion. This is Bethany down here on the corner for those that don't know. Bethany is getting ready to make a motion to remove Ben Gale, and it dies for lack of a second. The crowd is going to cheer. Then we do our little thing, and I'm getting pushed out of the meeting, and then she Gail says to Lisa, I'm sorry that someone tried to interrupt your comment, to which Bethany says, President Gail or whatever, or Counselor Gail, you've been the only person disrupting her comment here tonight. And then he tells her she's out of order, to which she says, are you going to remove me too? So listen for those things. The other great thing is, as we're walking out, Bethany says he has been arrested in a community before and sued and won. We can't afford this. Listen to Bethany trying to be the voice of reason, and they just completely shoot her down. Also, watch Mikhail Vaughn start to get involved, and Steele like puts his arm over him and quiets him down. Watch what happens here.
He's been asked to be quiet multiple times now, more than 3. And so the sheriff's department can help him find his way out.
Point of order, I believe President Gale is acting inappropriately, and I make a motion that we temporarily remove him as president for the remainder of this meeting.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And look at Emery shake his head. He just doesn't understand. I wonder how, like, do they like call each other looking in the mirrors?
I don't know, but I wish somebody would send a records request so we can have all their mics and hear what they're saying while this is going on. Mumbling under their breath because they're doing it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. Also, do you guys know that there is do any of you know that there is a camera in the back left-hand corner over where the sign-in sheet is, and it is a clear shot of the council? It's the most clearest shot of the council. It's better than any of the shots they said. It's the shot that the security team watches up front. And I want to know why no one's ever got that. Have you ever seen one of those videos?
No, but we can certainly inquire
Yeah,
about that.
yeah, it's definitely requestable. I saw that when I was coming through the door, and I asked them, I said, "Hey, is this recorded?" And they said, "Yes." The two guys up front.
Here's the other thing. Are you requesting the cameras in the hallway? They only have it for 30 days.
No, I will, but that's good because we had other people videoing, so I didn't think necessary. But
I would
yeah,
get the
I'm
one
going
from
to.
the county too.
Yeah. Okay. Now, for those of you that haven't watched what happens next, it gets ready to get real crazy. All right. He's getting ready to beat his little gavel. This guy's getting ready to speak up. And they're all mad at Bethany because she just made the motion to remove Ben. All right, let's listen. And keep in mind, while all this craziness is going on that Ben is doing, Bethany has her newborn baby here. Like, Bethany's doing this. She is really a badass. She has done an amazing job.
Excuse me.
We the people.
We the people. Excuse me.
That's right, we the people.
First of all, we have someone up here, and I've asked her to get to the specifics.
I've asked her to get to the point I think he was going to say, and he stopped himself and he said to the specifics. Yeah, that was really weird.
Topic that we're discussing right now. Second, we do have someone who has not only violated the decorum resolution that we have, I have conducted myself in accordance with state law that addresses this as well. And
You see, Katherine said something in a minute, and Diane like snaps and looks at her. That might have been it.
now
Diana
so that we can
lives
continue
for the
on
moment to have me removed.
Yeah, oh yeah.
with your comment that the sheriff's department will help him find his way out because he's been asked to leave.
Wants that to happen.
He's
With
been
all
asked
due
to leave.
respect, Sheriff, what
Excuse
about
me,
his
ma'am.
behavior?
Ma'am, please be quiet. That's warning number 2 for you. Sheriff,
Gonna remove the whole room?
if need be, please be quiet. You're disrupting our
Yeah, you're
meeting.
gonna have to remove.
What meeting is being disrupted right now? I would like to know what do you mean we're disrupting the meeting? What meeting is underway currently? What business are they discussing? I don't think, man, like this is the problem with these people. They have hard-ons to try to be in power and do all of this stuff, okay? The problem is to file criminal charges and when going through and filing a lawsuit on this, because keep in mind, I've been through this before. All of this stuff is very matters. I have the 5-page document that the judge wrote up and the court order did from last time. It's talking about, well, what's actually going on? What kind of business was, like, I don't think they realize this. There is no meeting going on currently. The meeting has been disrupted so what he meant to say was, I'm disrupting the disruption. That's what's happening. Okay. Watch what goes on now.
Remove this all.
Who holds him accountable?
It's a public meeting.
Could you please?
Sheriff, who holds him accountable?
A point of clarification, the state statute allows the presiding officer to make determination if someone's out of order. He has determined that this gentleman is out of order after 3 warnings. The state statute does not give law enforcement discretion on the individual being removed. That comes down to the presiding officer.
Okay. No, House Bill 1338 doesn't give the discretion for the law enforcement officer to act, yada, yada, yada. the fact that the law enforcement officer has powers that law enforcement officer has being sworn in under the Constitution of the United States and the state constitution, and for that municipality or that county, that city, that town, whatever, and getting those powers from the Indiana Law Enforcement Academy, the fact that you are a law enforcement officer in the state of Indiana, you have discretion on misdemeanor arrests. It happens daily. You pull somebody over that's driving while suspended prior, that is a misdemeanor arrest. You can do a couple things. You can put them in handcuffs and take them to jail. You can write them an arrest and release citation, tow the car, and send them on their way. A lot of cops let them drive off in the damn thing. I don't understand how they do that, but that's their discretion. And some just let them go on down the road. There you go. And you have discretion. You do not have discretion on felonies. You have discretion on misdemeanors. You do not have to make an arrest. And Beeman does not take his orders from Ben Gale. Beeman's men does not take his. When I walked into this building and I saw that there were 8 deputies there, I knew what side Beeman was on, because I knew he was prepared to have to take people out of there, yada, yada, yada. And I won't say who, but someone told me that it wasn't Beeman that had those people be there. Maybe it was somebody else. And I said, well, one of two things is the case. If Beeman doesn't have the authority or the power to control his men, if someone else asks them to be there and he can't say, no, that's not going to happen, he shouldn't be sheriff. Or if he's the one that told those people to be there, and this is all this does is make him now a protection agency underneath Ben Gale. And that is not what the sheriff is supposed to be doing. So now he said that. Watch what happens now.
So
there you go, Katherine. There's your sheriff.
That's right.
I don't know why I'm always called into everything.
That's right. Well, because this was the meeting. You got walked out last time, and I told you we would know on this meeting what side he was on, and he showed us. I told you I was going to make him show us, and I listen. I was saying that hoping that I was wrong. I was saying that hoping that I was wrong. And unfortunately, I wasn't. And it sucks. Now he says something. This is something else very damning that I don't know why he said this, because this is not going to play well with him in court. This is not going to play well when he says what he says next. This is not good. No.
So you'll have the opportunity to sue and get that law changed.
Listen, so you're doing something specifically that you know that now I'm going to sue you.
I think the thing is he thinks he's right. You think you're right. And so we'll just have to find out who's right.
That's no, but he knows. Listen, he cannot be a sheriff and think that he doesn't have discretion on a misdemeanor. There's no way. If you guys have, I'm just telling you, if you guys have a man that is leading the sheriff's department that does not know that he has discretion on misdemeanors, that's scary. I would get up from where you're at in your town and leave, go stay in a hotel out of Madison County and move. Leave that hellacious town. If you've got somebody who's leading police that can take your life and take your freedom, and he doesn't know that he and his officers have discretion, dear God. That's
and that's why when people ask me, I don't know enough about this law. I haven't researched it enough.
It's not, put the law out of your mind.
And so I'm going to have to look it up and read about it.
It's misdemeanor arrest. The law has nothing to say. This is an OWI, or say this is battery. Say me and Sean Smith got in a fight and I punched him in the nose, and I didn't kill him. I didn't knock any teeth out. I didn't maim him, or he punches me, or whatever. Any kind of misdemeanor. It's a misdemeanor arrest. officers have discretion on. And for that's the thing. It's not this law, it's misdemeanors in general. And so that's the thing. So now, all right, so here's what happens from here. Here's the deal.
Sheriff, could you instruct your deputies to please escort him out?
You're leaving now, sir, risk arrest.
I'd take the arrest.
Let them arrest you.
I would take the arrest.
What do you want to do? You want to arrest him?
No, just outdoor.
I'd take the arrest.
Take the arrest.
I'd take the arrest.
Take the arrest.
You should have taken the arrest.
We will continue the meeting once he is removed.
What did you say?
You should have taken the arrest.
I did. Why don't everyone keeps saying this to me?
Hey, without handcuffs.
What?
You didn't have handcuffs.
Right. You don't have to. Okay. You see these people with their hands on me? You see they have their hands on me, right?
Yeah.
I am not walking. I'm not leaving that building, which you hear me say this whole time. I am under arrest at this point. I am not free to leave. If I would have pulled back, what do you think would have happened if I would have pulled back from one of these guys?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they would have arrested you.
No. They wouldn't. I am under arrest currently.
Okay.
When you are not free to leave, when you are not free to go about your way, you are detained, you are under arrest. If I would have pulled back, they would have put my ass on the floor. They would have done things to hurt me. So what I said, I mean, keep in mind, I have been a cop. I'm not just talking out my ass. Okay. So what I'm telling these people up there is I'm not leaving this meeting. If you want me to leave, you're going to have to walk me out of here. You're going to have to take me out of here. I'm not leaving. Now, I told them repeatedly, I'm not resisting because, see, keep in mind, I'm going to sue to win. So that's what's going to happen here. That's why I don't want the resisting charge, because resisting is, there's no reason to fight them. I'm not fighting them. I'm just saying I'm not leaving the meeting. You're going to have to drag me. So the reason we keep progressing forward is because they are pulling me or pushing me. So right now I've got two guys on each hand that have my hands, and they're pushing me out the door. They're pushing me out the door. Here in a minute, there gets 3 people, and then there's 4 people. And I tell them at the door, I'm not walking out that door. You have to push me out that door. And if you push me out that door, take me to jail. Okay. And so what they do on the flip side of this, which we have that video, thanks to Bree, is they inform me under the color of law, under the threat of arrest, that I cannot of my own free will walk back into that door. What the chief deputy told me is if I put my hand on the door, they would take me to jail for trespass. That is effectively arrest. They have stopped me. I am no longer free to go. You could get up and leave and go down and buy a pack of cigarettes. You could go get gum. You could drive to this building. You could do whatever. You're free to go. If a police officer has you and is not letting you go, you are not free. You have been detained. There is literally no difference between this and if I had actually been fingerprinted in the Madison County Jail. It's the exact same thing. And this is, in my opinion, this is the best thing, because I get to still do the same thing I'm doing, and I didn't have to fight to get my bail money back. So, I mean, I'm fine with that any day. I can do that. But now, so here's what happens. They take us out. Bree comes to the rescue.
Arrested at another public meeting, and he sued and won. I really would not do this. We can't afford it.
That was a previous under.
Now that's Dr. Green sitting right there.
Okay, so that was him.
That's Dr. Green. That's Ben, the big guy. If you go to his left, that's Dr. Green.
Hold on, I messed up. I got a screen. So wait, what happened?
We're discussing right now.
That's Dr. Green who's running for council.
We do have someone who has.
So you
new money.
We
all right,
continue the meeting.
I'm back on screen. Tell me who.
Okay, so He's right there. That's Dr. Green. That first guy right there.
This
that's
is
Dr.
Green.
Mhm.
Okay.
He's not going to stand up for you.
Well,
He's
yeah, no.
smirking. He thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to be up there next.
Okay. And who's this guy?
That's Ben. Know who Ben is?
Ben.
Ben is retired Ron Richardson's son.
Oh, yeah, I knew that. Okay, yeah.
He believes in standing up for women. He's the one that asked, "Are you going to take up the whole room?"
Yes, yeah. I like him.
He's watched his dad. He knows what's going on.
He knows this is crazy. I'll put you this way. Beeman, I wouldn't piss on him. Scott Mellinger, he's an idiot. His father, this horse shit would not be happening if his father was in office. I'll say that right now. Let me tell you this. This is not happening in Delaware County. In Delaware County, we have an actual sheriff. We have someone who stands up for the people. His dad is one of the good ones. And I'll say that forevermore. I respect the hell out of his dad.
I apologize if someone decided to disrupt your comment.
President Gale, you've been the
Wait a
only
minute.
person disrupting comment tonight.
Now Ben's apologizing for someone disrupting the comment, but he's been doing it all night.
Yeah, and I love the fact that she put him in his place. And this is where he like threatens, listen, he tells her, "Excuse me, you're out of order at this moment. Listen." And then she says, "Are you going to remove me?" Listen.
We will continue the meeting once he is removed.
I'm not leaving the meeting. President Gale, he's been arrested in another public meeting and he sued and won. I really would not do this. We can't afford it.
That was a previous.
Stop it. Somebody get out of the chair.
He loves that gavel.
Dude, it's weird, isn't it?
Someone decided to disrupt your comment.
President Gale, you've been the only person disrupting comment tonight.
Excuse me, you're out of order.
Are you going to remove me from the meeting?
Would you please?
We still have to vote on her motion.
Dude,
There's a motion on the table.
she is absolutely badass. Now, we're not going to go through the whole thing because there's a whole video and people can go find this. And I want to get back to the meeting, but I do just want to show people just a brief section of what happened at the door and then what happens outside, because I think there's a lot of confusion people had. So basically what happens is what you don't see from that video is then this is what happens at that point. And this video is up. You can go watch this. It's a 19-minute video. It shows all sides of it. And this video is, I have this video, thankfully, because of Bree. So thank you. Big shout out. And she was a badass.
I'm asking you to put me in jail if you put me out that door. If you put me out that door, take me to jail. Take me to jail. Go, Bree. Take me to jail. Take me to jail if you continue putting your hands on me. I'm asking you, listen, and I'm asking you to take me to jail if you're putting your, what do I do? What happens if I lay down? Okay, that's what I'm going to do. Because I think what they're doing is inappropriate.
So how many times does the president have to act out before one of you guys do something about him? I mean, honestly, who holds him accountable?
Political test.
There's a whole room of people showing up because they're concerned about this very reason.
I know, we're not fighting.
Oh my God. Okay. And so
I'm taking 4 of my esteemed
I'm trying to get that down from there. Okay. And so basically we go back and forth and we do all of that stuff for the next like 10 minutes. Bree keeps talking. I'm talking to him. The chief deputy comes out, or he's out there. He's further down, and he comes down there. And long story short, we get them to say, and they say multiple times when asked, they say that
right. The one that gives the president.
Right. What is that?
So it's up to him. So
Yeah. It's a
state statute. That is not a
So if
law.
you violate that statute.
So what is that
It's not a
statute?
law.
Right, at that point.
Okay.
And you don't voluntarily walk
Right.
out. So
So
if
you
you don't
take me to
voluntarily
jail at
walk out,
that point, I am preliminarily booked for what?
we're not taking you to jail.
No, if I try to go back in there, what will I be going to jail for?
If we grab a hold of you and
Yeah.
ask you out of there, and you don't comply,
Yeah.
you'll go to jail for resistance.
Well, I mean, I will comply at that point that you try to take me out of there.
Then it's my understanding trespass would be charged. You will receive a trespass warning for being here.
Okay,
But did-
let's do that.
So you
Let's
guys
do
are,
what
so
I'm
to be clear, you guys are putting the trespass on him because they didn't say anything about trespassing.
To attend the meeting. You know what I mean?
I understand.
You're telling me that under the
Right
threat
here.
of arrest, if I attempt to walk back into that meeting
You've been,
peacefully, that you will arrest
you've
me.
already lost your right to be there.
This is a yes or
He
no.
says you've lost your right. And listen, I don't know, because she speaks at the same time. I say, no, I've not lost my right to my freedom of speech. You can't take that from me.
No question. This is a yes or
I
no
have
question.
lost my First Amendment rights to redress my government. You cannot take that
That's
right
right.
away.
That's for you to decide which
Right,
case
right,
law,
right.
and
I get it.
you know how that works.
I get it. I'm more than fine with that. I'm saying, so you're telling me under the threat of arrest.
If you walk back in there, you'll be charged with trespass.
There we go. So, and that is what is going to allow us to test this rule and make these people look like idiots. I just hate that it all takes time. That's the thing, is I wish that this stuff could wrap up like in weeks or months. Unfortunately, it takes years, but the good thing is it doesn't matter if these people are out of office or not. They still get to pay the price. So
Well, and Lisa Rinker's right. None of this needed to happen.
none of it needed to happen.
I just don't understand why you run for an office. You don't want to hear from your constituents. It makes
Yeah.
no sense. And I get it. You guys, they've been flying under the radar. They've been spending our money recklessly. Hell, we're building $110 million jail. I mean, what do you people think? The council has allowed the commissioners to work into an agreement for $110 million jail.
Yeah.
They're going to have to fill that jail to pay for that jail. Right?
Yeah.
They get money for inmates, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what we're doing here. I'm totally lost. And you can go spend that kind of money on a jail because you haven't been putting money into the current jail to keep it up to date because your commissioner is a buffoon. And I say your commissioner because I've never voted for Rich Wine because he's a buffoon.
Yeah.
He needs to go. But Lisa supposedly lost the election.
Yeah. Right.
But then I was watching the county video.
Yeah.
I don't think that maybe Lisa didn't lose. Because did you know in less than 10 minutes, they were able to make 3 ballots, force them through the machine, and make the numbers match without ever telling anybody in that room that ballots were missing.
Yeah. That's
Now it makes me concerned that as things are coming in, so, okay, the ballots from Elwood have come in. The count is 1,000 to 798.
Yeah.
Well, now they're waiting for Alexandria to get their ballots there. They're saying, hey, go make up, 250 ballots so we can shove that through here and get our guy back on top.
Sure.
I've learned it's very suspicious. Okay.
Yeah.
And so then on top of all of that, as those numbers are coming in and those numbers coming in, suddenly I'm telling you, I don't like to swear, but they said in the county or in the city race in 2023, they lost power. Now everybody's saying that never happened. Well, yeah, it did because the numbers weren't updating. They said there were just a few hiccups, but now they won't say that was the hiccup. So now, did Rebecca Crooms really lose?
Dude, that's the problem.
Okay. Then on top of all this, did you know that every I don't know, processor or whatever, the voting machine, whatever you want to call it, they all have the same passcode?
Yeah, that's real
Cindy
scary.
Ponce,
You said
did
that
you
thing.
know that
Scary.
the passcode is the same for every machine in the county? And now we know how many people have that code. It's starting to sound like if you work at a polling center, you have the code. This is craziness. I'm not so sure that these machines are very secure. I don't know how many of you watched the video of the news channel. I don't know if you can play that little clip real quick. But, we're kind of gelling some things together. We just got problems in Madison County. This is Little Chicago. Welcome to Little Chicago, Chris. You got christened. But they're allowed in Marion County, and they tested all of their machines. So we've got a couple different things all going on at once. And that's the thing. Okay, Bethany and council, if you're going to go ahead and give Linda all this money and not cut her budget when we don't have an election next year and it's not a presidential one, then can you use some of that money to send her some training like Laureen said?
Dude, that was freaking amazing when she got up and said that. I think what she did was made the clerk look absolutely stupid by Laureen's comments. Well, yeah, she just helped. She helped to highlight the stupidity because it was completely nuts.
See, and Shelley's been questioning the machine all along.
Yeah.
If people are starting to think like Cecil Stroud, who's been up there, he's voting for Fred and Rebecca, and I'm sure probably Christy, and Cecil's a pretty diehard Republican. If we can get more people to think diversity,
on the local level, man, I'm a conservative, constitutional conservative, libertarian, used to be considered Republican, conservative, whatever. Like, look, I get it, but locally, man, it does. I'm voting. I don't vote in Madison County, but if I voted in Madison County, I would be voting for Rebecca Crooms. I'm pushing Rebecca. There are Democrats in Delaware County. I push, locally, that doesn't affect me.
Originally I was going to just stay in my lane because, you're not in good standing if you're not a Republican and you support another candidate. But you know what? I'm going to get out of my lane because who knows what will happen. I would definitely probably take Christy, Rebecca, and then I'll have to really research. I don't know, Brandon. And then Fred's always been good to me in the coroner's office. So Fred's another one. So that's going to be a tough draw. But Rebecca's been at every meeting. She is putting these on live videos. Christy has been at every meeting too. I want people to understand Christy is in that council seat every month. So she's just not filming, but she is present. Those are the two people who've been present in all these meetings, but we need one more because we have to hold the majority.
Yes. Okay, watch this, guys, because this now pulls us out of the Madison County meeting from last night. Now think back to the situation in the Madison County Election Board meeting from last Thursday. Remember, they wanted to put Rebecca Crooms and they wanted to put Katherine all the way in the back of the room.
They wanted to put Rosa Parks in the back of the room.
Right. They wanted Sean, everybody to go back there. They did not want them to be able to record the machines or to record any of the documents. They don't know. Can you have the documents? Can you not have the documents? Watch this.
Put to the test election day about a month away now, and early voting begins next week.
So election workers want to make sure that everything is ready to go, from poll workers to the voting machines themselves. Tonight, Dustin Grove takes us inside and shows us how it all works and whether all that equipment passed the test.
Inside Marion County's Election Service Center.
Yeah.
They're too close to the machines.
Look, you can see, look, this is.
And they go, look at that.
Yeah, they're right up on the documents.
Put to the test.
To make sure that they are in good working order, that there are no votes on the machines.
Look.
That everything is ready to go for the election.
Each county is required to test 5% of its equipment and also told which specific machines to examine. But Clerk Kate Sweeney Bell says here
In Marion County, we test it all. We don't rely on this 5% test. We know going into it that each and every machine that we have is going to work.
So more than 2,600 machines are set up and tested to make sure every single selection is accurately recorded. Then each machine is secured away.
We set them up and knock them down.
Good morning, everyone.
And all of it done during an open meeting of the Marion County Election Board.
Wait, stop. Pause that for a minute. Pause that for a minute. So you mean to tell me that they are all done with the machines back there? They were all stationed at a machine. Now they're all up at the front actually having a meeting. They're not allowing the people to go run these machines while they sit at the front?
Yeah, right.
I mean, our council just sat at the thing and let it be a free-for-all in there.
Yeah. They had no clue what the hell was going on. Yeah, your meeting was so disheveled.
Important that we explain every little detail.
Brian Chatfield works in voter registration. He says it's critical for the public to be able to watch every step of the process.
To see Republicans and Democrats working behind the scenes to make sure it's a free and fair election, it's fun to watch.
A spokesperson from the clerk's office tells me everything went well. And this right here is a copy of the certified form. We got this afternoon saying they ran the test with the machines from at least 3 different precincts and corrected any issues that came up. Again, in Marion County, they tested them all. And when they were finished, the voting system was sealed and it was signed by not only the clerk, but 2 members of the election board, a Democrat.
Look, and they gave him a
reminder.
document.
Early voting starts next week. You can still register, and we posted a link where you can do.
I mean,
you mean he didn't have to fill out a FOIA and then wait for the attorneys? Do you know now in Madison County that if you want to get the absentee ballots, you want to know who those who applied for those absentee ballots, you have to fill out a 3-page paper, and then you have to wait for the attorney to sign off on it, and you're told in the elections office that it could be up to 30 days. You could cost somebody an election on that.
That is...
It took Miss Crooms a week to get it. And that's only after she kept rattling the cages saying, hey, I need this.
I cannot understand. I cannot understand what would cause them to do that. I cannot in a million years understand what would cause them to be like that. But before we go back, I want to show you guys this. This is I'm not even counting on channel 13. Let me show you this. Look at this. This is crazy. Now look, this is on a Facebook page. Oh, wow. Look, there's my name, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Look, this is the 30th of September 2020.
Are you going to get rated for that?
Yeah, I hope.
Too close up.
That would be amazing.
They're going to confiscate that video?
Yeah, look. You can actually see who's on the freaking ballots and everything.
Was this a test?
Yeah. This is Delaware County Election Board meeting, test vote machines and absent ballot investigation. I'm working all the machines. I'm pressing all the buttons, doing the test for them. There we go. Finish that. Look at this. Look, I got this paper ballot right here.
Wow.
Videoing it. We got this paperwork back here.
Another thing that we're doing in this test is we're randomly pulling out vote cards to show that they're activated properly for this election.
Okay.
So that one I went through and did the second round. Now, do you need to do the third, like libertarian or?
Yep, the third, and then you'll actually have a fourth for the write-ins.
Okay. Yep.
Did you, on your council race, did you vote all 3?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Right there you go.
Go ahead.
I mean,
hey, when they go to the end and they ask you if certain judges should be retained and things like that, what happens if the people vote no?
Well, if enough people vote no, they take the judges out, and then there's then they're replaced.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, Rebecca just came over here in May of this year and just did this very same thing. I unfortunately wasn't able to be there, but she came over and she did the same damn thing in May. This was back in 2020. I've done it in Henry County. I do it wherever. I've done it everywhere. And just they're like, no, not Madison County. You know, look, the only thing I can say is the people of Madison County are all the people that's all in charge are all like some kind of
wonderful.
Yeah, some kind of like mental or developmentally challenged issue going on with everyone. Something is wrong.
Okay.
That they're just so stupid they don't know what's going on,
It's none of
or
that.
they're criminal.
It's the culture
Yeah,
that has been
that's exactly right.
allowed.
Yeah,
It is the culture. You know, Ben Gale's not a
that's the
stupid
point.
man.
Yeah. No,
He's just an arrogant man with a poor
He's- yeah.
mentor,
Mhm,
right?
mhm. That's
Same.
exactly.
I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the point I was getting
It's
at.
a culture. It's a culture that these people have gotten away with. They have watched Russ Willis. I mean, look at this. Look at the prosecutor's office.
Yeah.
I've really left them alone, but they are absolutely pathetic.
Yes.
Okay? Pathetic and disgusting. And I say this because you raided Larry Savage's house in a matter of hours.
Yeah.
But yet, when it came to my complaint of finances, and Russ has not done his finances correct, they could have gotten a search warrant, not just for Russ, but for the treasurer of the party who filed these documents, right? Who's the treasurer on that? Indiana State Trooper Anthony Emery. But yet we don't have, and they could get their ledgers. Maybe they've got some receipts laying around, but now you've given them what, 8, 9, 10 weeks to destroy anything they want and try to figure out how to manipulate those and try to put amendment in. Well, that's just, I mean, this is, you guys just look guiltier and guiltier by the minute. Then you got Linda Smith sitting over there who knew within a day that Joswiak was denied access, and she doesn't have a problem that Russ was acting on behalf as the clerk, that he was acting as the clerk, refusing somebody to come in. Now, you know, I would think that I would be a little more pissed off if I were Linda, that somebody was impersonating me. Like, she should be filing charges against Russ for impersonation of the clerk, stopping an elected official or stopping the community for going to canvassing. So technically, Joswiak probably needs to file against the clerk for not filing charges on Russ impersonating her. I mean, that's how far-fetched you guys have made this become. Because there's nothing that would explain to me when Linda can do such a quick turnaround on Larry Savage, and she hasn't done anything on a video of canvassing violations that is a felony offense. And that, oh, we got to send it to the state police. The prosecutor really can't do it. Well, I'm going to farm that out. You know, I mean, that's the whole goal over here in Madison County. If you're not part of the swamp, they can come after you within minutes to seconds to days. But if you're part of the swamp, well, we're going to kick that can down the road. We're going to stay in this good old boys game, and we're going to just make sure that everybody else loses, but not us.
Yes.
Well, the gig is up.
Yeah.
I mean, that's and here's the thing. Linda Smith and Russ Willis handed their reins over to no one else but Tim Lannon. I've never seen Republicans hand over all their stuff to Republicans in my life. But I guess that's, you know, I don't know. You ever see counties or presidents who just hand stuff to the opposite party?
It's No.
It's just weird.
It is very strange what the
It's a culture of cancer.
Yes, absolutely. That
And
is
the tentacles go very, very deep. The fact that the Indiana State Troopers have not moved on Russ's finances or on the canvassing, I don't even know what to think.
Man.
But it's food for thought. It's stuff that all of us need to think about. And I'm hopeful that in November, I need to see what that date is. The second Tuesday in November. So that will be November 12th that we will see a lot of people, because November 5th is election day, and then November 12th will be the county council. I hope people will come out and see. I'll be even more impressed to see how many, whoever wins those seats, if they will be in the audience or not. Because Culp and Green have not been there.
Yeah, that's always very telling to me too.
Yeah.
The people who, if you're running for an office, you should start going. Like over here in Delaware County, we've got Stephen Brand, who's running for commissioner. And about a year and a half or 2 years before he started running for commissioner, he started going to like every meeting. He started going to Muncie's council meeting. He started going to the commissioner's meeting. He started going to the council meetings. If you're going to plug in and start being one of just a few active members of the local government, you should probably have your hands on some of the strings and know what's going on. You should have your finger on the pulse of what's going on, definitely in the county. You don't want to go to Anderson. All right, maybe I get it, but it doesn't hurt. That's one thing I was going to ask you. Is there any kind of communication? That's one thing I never talked to you about. Is there any kind of communication at all, or any kind of networking or work at all, any kind of networking at all between Madison County and the city of Anderson? Or are they non-existent in each other's worlds?
No, because, and you're starting to see that Miss Crooms would be a better person to ask of that, but you're starting to see more and more of the disconnect between the city and the county. And what has brought it all to light is this jail.
Okay.
Because Ridgewine's like, well, we're moving out. That's really in the property is really in the city. City's saying you need to clean that up and take that jail with you. County's going, man, we ain't gonna implode that thing. It's your property, it's your stuff. You guys deal with that. It's your eyesore. I don't. It might be the county's property, but it sits in their, little area where it's close enough. So now you're gonna see two rivals figure, because this is a lot of money at stake. And then you start to watch dispatch, and the county's like to the city, we want our money for dispatch. Well, the real one was last week, I think it was, we've got a transportation system that the county takes care of. The county says in there, well, we went to the city for more help with that. The city said, we're not giving you more help with that. So now the county is saying, we can't continue on with that transportation feature. So we're going to have to close that down. Whoa, wait a minute here. You have ARPA money. And why is it the city's responsibility to keep a county entity going? It just shows all this money Rick's putting in the rainy day fund. It's not going to the people. Now you're going to it was just in the paper. Now you're going to shut down the public transportation thing that goes throughout the county because you guys have done a piss poor job managing the money, and you think the city should bail you out, but you got $17,000 in ARPA money. You make no sense. None. And then you've got all this money coming off of interest, off of ARPA money. That interest should be going back to the people and giving them some type of break. Again, you're not doing that. You're doing your pet projects. It's so incredibly frustrating. I mean, I could go on with the, and then the county's like, hey, you towns need to be paying us for dispatch. Elwood's not paying us. Alexandria's not paying us. Well, they are paying you because they found the clause to get you other money coming in. They raise the taxes for you. Now, those people who live in Elwood, those people who live in Alexandria, hey, if you live in the city, you're already getting nailed. You pay a county tax and you pay a city tax. And they want you to pay for this dispatch. So the city of Anderson is paying dispatch, if you live in that part, twice. Elwood mayor and Alexandria mayor said, we're only paying that once. You get our county funds, you go live with that. We're not giving you our city funds too. So people need to kind of step back and start looking at the double dipping. It's the same thing with Stephanie Mellinger. She comes in there and double dips and then admits it. Bethany asked her the other day, so aren't you getting that fund for that nurse practitioner out of this fund too? She says, well, I have to do it that way, but I'll give it back if I don't use it. Well, that's not how that works. So she's now putting double the fund of money into there, and then it gets funneled out however she determines, because, well, they forget in a couple months that they really put double the amount of money in there. Look at all these transfers. If these departments have this much money to transfer and you're in October, they gave them too much money last year.
Yeah.
Think about it. I mean, they shouldn't have anything. All of them should be at the bare minimum right now, but they're transferring crazy. And they've been transferring. It'd be interesting to look up how much has been transferred per department to date. But nobody is looking at all these numbers, and people, you got to go to the podium. Yes, showing up is great. A couple of you, if this is your return visit, now it's time to get inspired. I do not go to any meeting with a speech prepared.
Yeah.
I just sign in. If something moves me, I'll say something. If not, like last night. Can we go to the end of the meeting last night?
Yeah. What
Because
you have a time period?
No, but it's right at the end, right before he allows public comment, right at the end.
I think
So
I
I guess
was
when you
just
see
literally,
it-
as we were talking, I was looking for it.
Yeah. So the thing is at that point, I was so disgusted with Ben Gale and his comment of it doesn't really matter what you people say.
That's what I was actually looking for, was that comment.
I was like, I'm not even getting up there because it will turn into another standoff. I mean, by this time, people, it's already 11 something. Nobody's had dinner. Somebody went and got White Castles, which we appreciated. But it's sad. Dispatch is sad. They're begging for money. I mean, it's just pathetic.
Yeah.
Okay. Not from the auditor's office.
Oh, yeah. The auditor's office asked for crazy raises.
But have you looked at the raises that the auditor's office is trying to give? The ninth deputy in the auditor's office has a $22,500 pay increase in this budget. And there's a couple $5,000 increases and $10,000 increases.
And look at Todd
I'm
Smirk.
okay with giving an
Yeah.
employee a
They're getting one over on you
$22,500 pay
people.
increase.
And they're talking to each other. See these two?
Yeah.
Now, how disrespectful is that to Bethany when she's speaking?
Yeah.
There's more departments that don't have discretionary funds to give raises. And it's just, I mean, I'm not even talking about equal raises. I'm just talking about that there's nothing for them to be able to give those raises.
Tell me.
All right, okay,
make me
hold
understand
on,
it,
hold
right?
on, hold on. We're not gonna argue here. Rick, would
Oh.
you like to explain?
This
any
is
of that?
disgusting
You don't
from
have
Rick.
to, but if you'd like to. Mhm.
You're gonna be a commissioner.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a commissioner.
Okay.
So he
why
essentially
don't we
says,
get through-
it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to be here next year. If Todd wants to speak on it, that's fine, but I'm not going to give you anything because it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. And look at Todd. That's who your next auditor is.
God, yeah. That is so sickening. That is so sickening.
So you don't care, but you're still going to be a commissioner. If you don't care right now as you're in your term, then step out, resign right now. Do not go for commissioner.
Yeah.
He's disgusting.
Right. Yeah, he is. All right, where are we going here?
So go just a little bit further when they start with public comment.
Has to do with the subsidiary motion first. Continue to fund that. Okay, so we have the subsidiary motion on the table. We've had some discussion on it. Is there any changes tonight on the general? So we looked at the public safety, but it's the advertised amount. So here we go on three different motions.
Well, maybe,
So
maybe he just needs to amend his motion.
yes, he
include
needs
the
to.
rainy day fund.
Okay. So, yes, so this would be on the subsidiary motion that was made by Councilwoman North and second. So, yes, so.
You increase your line.
We increased line items, yes.
Yeah. Amended motion is to approve this ordinance with the.
Councilwoman North.
Yes.
Councilwoman Likens.
Oh.
Amended motion is to approve. No.
The amended mission fails
Yeah, so that.
Yeah.
Then we voted on the one.
because they didn't want to give the salaries. But see, Ben or Rick and Todd met with Ben privately and did this whole thing. Ben admits to this several times in the meeting. I met with Todd, I met with Rick. So this was really done with the auditor and Ben Gale, the budget.
Sure.
Which is illegal.
Yeah.
But it's not a quorum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Councilwoman Likens.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing a great job.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Prosecutors even leave them.
All opposed.
Look, they're all leaving.
Oh, wait a minute
They don't care
here.
about the public either.
We'll suspend
Okay.
15 minutes. All right, first person on the.
Here we go, right here.
Yeah. Listen to this, everybody.
Whoever just wants to speak should get to speak.
Motion's been made. Does anyone want to second that?
I didn't hear.
And it's been seconded.
Oh.
It's to not have the 15 budget for 20.
All right, listen. This is it.
Now on the agenda, is there anyone that signed up back there?
And let me tell you, you obviously know how fired up I was and am about being kicked out. Listen to me when I say what you're getting ready to hear right now fires me up almost more than me getting kicked out. So understand that. Captain Morgan, somebody there, someone in there, you guys bought White Castles, brought them in for you guys, right? Like just a citizen.
Yes, a citizen did it.
Not anybody from the government. They don't give a shit about
No.
citizens.
This was a concerned citizen, and I would say
Yeah.
his name, but I don't know if he wants his name said. So I'm
No,
not gonna
that's
say
all
it.
right. Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good. Listen to this. What you're getting ready to hear pisses me off almost more or as much as my rights being violated. Kate's trying to call me somehow. Okay. All right, here we go. You're all right. That's okay. All right, here we go. What the hell? Listen.
Public comment, if anyone would bring up the sign-up sheet.
President Gale, I'd like to make a motion that just for this meeting, we suspend
That
the
wasn't
15
want to
minute
speak. They
limit
should be
on
speaking.
public comment. The people that I don't know if it'll even go that long, but the people that have stayed to speak have been here for almost 5 hours. And so as long as they don't exceed their 3 minutes, I don't think we should limit public comment to 5 people.
Now, mind you, at the beginning, Bethany asked that public comment go first.
Yeah. No, that's something that we didn't play. That was my mess up.
No,
that was
that's
one of the other things that
She
happened.
did ask that, and Ben vetoed her.
Well, they voted on it, but it failed.
Well, yeah, because the swamp holds it.
Yeah.
Ben's not for the people.
Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. So think about that. Public comment. The public comment that we've had at other parts of the meeting have been public comment on the new monies. This is the public comment like in the city council that comes at the end of the meeting that people can get up and talk about whatever. And all Bethany wanted to do was to move it to the beginning of the meeting. So 4 or 5 citizens that were going to talk could talk then and then leave if they wanted. and they wouldn't allow that to happen. So they've had to sit through this 5-hour-long meeting and now get to talk. And what they do is they have some arbitrary, stupid ass 15-minute time limit on there, which is stupid. And she's like, let's get rid of that, because what that does is if they have public comment for 15 minutes, they say, all right, 15 minutes. And at the end of 15 minutes, we're done.
And here's the thing. If these guys eat up that time by responding, Ben Gale, like having a whole, then it's gone too.
Yeah. So, and that's what they try to do to burn that up. So Bethany says, I want to make a motion that we suspend that and just do regular public comments, 3 minutes a piece, and just have it out. Listen to what he says. And all right, Adam says, my understanding that there were 17 names signed up. Listen to this.
Whoever just wanted to speak should get to speak.
Motion's been made. Does anyone want to second that? I didn't hear. And it's been seconded. It's to not have the 15-minute public comment. Basically, 3 minutes per person then. My personal belief is we've all been here really long. Nothing that is going to be said at this point is going to have an effect on the budget.
So the public means.
You want to say it?
What do you say at that point?
Yeah.
I mean, I got some choice words for Ben Gale, but here's at the end of the day, people need to show up and give him a farewell token and remind him to never come back to politics again.
Yeah, right. Goodbye, Ben.
Yes. For any other reason, come and say, this is our money. You have destroyed it. Don't ever come back, and send a clear message to Rick Gardner and his smug ass that sits up there and tell him, you just wait your turn as the commissioner.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole thing. And the same thing with Todd Culp. I mean, you people need to show up and say, take a good look at us, because if this is our last meeting on November, you guys are in for a wild ride come January.
Oh God, I just can't. Yeah, it kills me, man. It makes
disgusting.
me so mad.
It is a malignant cancer of culture.
Yeah.
And Miss Kroom shared with me the other day, she was reading the clerk's job description kind of thing with the state. And it said, it is not acceptable to tell the public, because that's the way it's always been. That's why we do it that way. That is not acceptable.
Yeah.
And
That's what I said, B Rich. I was like, dude, it's like a before and after meth commercial. It's so weird. But yeah,
it's the tram. It's the public transportation tram that they're going to get rid of, because the county feels, since the city can't bail them out, they're just going to get rid of that for the people, which is so sad, because ARPA money was supposed to help support and offset some of this stuff. This is just disgusting. But you know what? We're going to get rid of a tram. We're going to get rid of public transportation, but we're going to spend $4 million on trails. And here's the thing. I'm not trying to be rude. I don't know who this gentleman is. His name's Ben Orcutt. I've seen him around. He owns the bike shop. Kudos to you. I hope you have a good thing. But when you make him the president of that money for those trails,
that
is a conflict of interest.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I get it. It's his business. I get it. But come on, you guys. You're so blatant about this stuff. I don't have anything against Ben. I'm not saying that. So everybody needs to back off. I'm just saying it's not a good look.
Yeah. That
just saying.
It is truthfully crazy. I don't understand, man.
But I mean, we could go all night, and I just want you to know, I can't make this stuff up. I can't. This stuff up. But I so desperately need people to come out for November. I know it's getting to the holidays. People are busy, but I just want you guys to see how crazy this is. It's absolute craziness. And your tax dollars are what's being eaten up.
When is the meeting in November? Did we decide?
November 12th at 6
It
p.m.
is Tuesday, November 12th.
Uh-huh. And see, you get to reset the clock and you get to come in and be just a
Get three-
concerned citizen again.
Get 3 more warnings.
And I don't even understand how they do the warnings, to be honest with you.
That's
But
some
you know,
arbitrary thing that he has in his head.
I don't think that a man trying to defend a woman who a president is abusing the power and beating up on is appropriate. I think that people from the audience should speak up and defend the person, since the councilman was never raised to respect anybody who speaks unless it's him.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I'll just tell you, it doesn't matter if it's a woman, it doesn't matter if it's a child. I mean, this man just clearly believes that unless he can hear his own voice and he can gabble everybody, that we don't have a meeting. He's out of control.
Yeah.
So, you know, and here Nicole said some of the bikes Orchid sales are $1,500 bikes. I mean, so I just, you know, there's just a lot going on. There's a lot of money at stake. I hope people will see when you go to vote, please get out your phones. Please video what you want. You can legally video yourself. You can video your machine, but you cannot video anybody else. So don't tell them that you can't have your phone out, because you can.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's
You can
very
have
true.
a list with you. You can absolutely have a list with you as well. And then just to be very, very clear, I want everybody to understand you have to fill out all the circles or you won't be able to get your county council voted for. And you won't be able to-
Whoa. Wait, what's happened? Bethany, well, I didn't see this. Bethany made the motion to get rid of the 15-minute limit. The council ended up voting in favor of Bethany's motion. I thought they did not.
to get rid of the time limit. Yeah.
Then after a few people spoke, Ben stopped reading the list and adjourned the
Yep.
meeting.
Yes.
What do you mean?
He didn't go through the whole list.
Why?
He just got tired because he got tired of hearing people come up there and speak.
Did he say that?
No, he just adjourned it. How do we know who else is on the list? He must have been assuming that people had left. So this is, you know what? Nicole called me last night on my way home. She said there was some lady that was up there reading them the riot act. At the end of the video, I don't know what it is because she said I could, but we probably should look at that. She must have been up there reading them the riot act because she must have been one of those people who didn't get to speak.
Where
I
we
didn't
have
know
a copy of that somewhere? Is there video of it?
Of the list?
No, of that lady doing that.
I guess it was at the end, right at the end, but then Nicole said she was up there and then I turned my thing off. I didn't know they were going at it. Go to the end of the video. She said somebody in a red blouse or something. I don't know. But now that Adam, I knew there were a bunch of people up there up front. So that must have been what got everybody upset, that he didn't go through the whole list. He must have just assumed, I'm done listening to public comment. I'm not listening to you guys anymore. People got missed.
These individuals.
That really stinks.
Help relieve some of the pressure on the coroner's office.
Oh, two other people from dispatch.
Whether it be between the ARPA committee.
Okay, that was him.
To materials while there's full staff and sheriffs in the room, and that potentially someone else told them they could.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they need more money for security or for training, but it's clear that they need something for that office.
Taylor Mason.
So.
I mean, the dispatchers really stayed out there for a long time last night.
Yeah.
The value of the work that we do every day on a.
Michael Klein.
And I think Michael's the last speaker.
Pay competitive with the surrounding counties. We did not do that for dispatch. We make, I think Jenny has the numbers 24% less than the surrounding counties. That's why nobody wants to work here, because we're not paying what anybody wants. Some people live closer to the other counties. They can just go dispatch there.
Yeah.
We're allotted 34 dispatchers. We have 17. We have 2 people put in 2 weeks notice this week. We have 17 dispatchers running your whole county for fire, medical, everything. This county gets a major incident sometime that goes down when we have 4 people running dispatch sometimes, 4 people. You guys are gonna have to answer for it, not me. Because I'm gonna be like, I asked for the resources, I asked for what I needed. We have an active shooter, we have a major fire. Remember when Alexandria had the gas explosion? We try to run that with 4 people, it's not gonna happen. And there's gonna be extra deaths and extra injuries because we don't have the people to take care of your people.
This is a dispatcher, man, and he had to go to work after this.
Don't worry, we're not gonna have a morgue
We
to
make
put
sure
him in
everybody
either.
else is paid
Yeah.
for it, but ours, you're gonna lose more people too, because I'm overworked, underpaid, and overstressed. I'm about to be at my 10-year point where I'm vested. I'm about to say, see you goodbye, go somewhere else. And then you're gonna have less and less and less. And then you're gonna have to tap in that rainy day fund, because you're gonna have to find somebody to run your dispatch off the streets. It's so easy. You guys are about to find out real soon how easy it is.
Yep.
That's all I have to say. Now I'm gonna go to work on my day off to make sure that these guys and girls in the back have the resources they need to do their jobs. I work on my days off all the time. I don't want to, I don't need the money. I do it to make sure they got what they need.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Earlier in the meeting, there were 2 budgets, the ordinances, East Central Indiana Waste and Independence Fire. After talking with Ted, those were, this did constitute a second reading tonight, so there's no need to come and have a special meeting to revisit those. So just want to make sure the council is aware of that. At this point, we have our next meeting at November 12th at 6 p.m. We're going to do a motion to adjourn. We have a motion by Councilman.
All right, let's see if it happens.
It's a pink shirt.
Say aye. We are adjourned.
Ted must be looking at someone pissed off.
Yeah, that he's there that late.
Her?
Oh, that I know who that is. That is
Here, hold on.
Alexa. She is one of their head dispatchers.
There we go. She's talking.
Yes.
You're not spunky now.
I am very spunky. Dang it. I will always be spunky. This was like, I mean, everything I've said in the coroner's office for years is just now coming true for all the other departments.
For all what?
The other departments. You know, it's all coming true for all the other departments.
That's who that is. That's one of their head
Damn.
dispatchers. It's Alexa Warren is who that is. She's real popular on Facebook. Alexa is. If you look her up, she's real popular on Facebook. Very nice. She has actively gotten involved in politics after watching our shows, and has been very moved by what we do. So that's one of the dispatchers. So they really must have missed 2 dispatchers. I guess one of the other ones had 30 years of experience that wanted to speak. I don't know how you just, and I mean, and you go and talk to Ben and Diane, they got nothing for anybody. They don't care what people have to say. They live in their homes. You know, Ben Gale was a big mover and shaker to consolidate Anderson schools.
Yeah.
After he consolidated Anderson schools, do you know what his first thing of business he did?
What?
Moved his kids out of the district.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I did hear it. Yes.
Right? And then he had to give up his seat, but don't worry, they caucused him into this. So it's just, I mean, this recycling of politicians has to stop, you guys.
Yeah.
Again, if you've stayed with us tonight, I'm thankful. I know it's very late. You need to be looking at Marquest Higgins for, commissioner. You just need to, because we need to quit recycling people. We need to look at him. It can be done if we all got behind this and was sharing this. Change can happen. So Marquest would be, and let me tell you, if that wouldn't upset the apple cart on the commissioners.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Look at Marquest Higgins. I mean, Ollie's a nice guy and everything, but again, Marquest is fresh.
Yeah.
Ollie's got his hands full over at the city. If he comes out of there, I don't know who they're going to have put in that seat to represent Ollie and his people. So at the city, the other thing is, take a hard look at Miss Crooms. Go check out her Facebook. You'll see how busy and active she is in the community, but the city
down.
in the county. Maybe that's the person you need to merge the two areas to get us in a better situation. You know, Kristi Grabowski, very good candidate. She's going to be another Bethany Keller that's going to toe the line with people. It's going to ask for accountability. They're independent thinkers. We need some of that on the council. We don't have a lot of independent thinkers. We got followers. We got one chief who he thinks is a chief, and then we got Emery and Steele and Likens suckling on his tit.
Absolutely,
No brain.
man.
No brains at all. And so, you know, we need independent thinkers. And so think about, you know, Rebecca Crooms, Kristi Grabowski, you know, Fred Reeves, Brandon Collins, you know, but I'm telling you, Green and Culp, we're still going to be behind the 8 ball with those two, because Culp's going to have to go with whatever his dad wants. He's not an independent thinker. He's going to go with his family.
Yeah. I mean, that's just, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm telling you this, look at their political signs. They had one sign for the both of them to confuse you, the people.
Yeah.
And now
yeah.
the paper put out that Todd Culp is running for county council because the paper can't even get it right that it's Jonathan Culp.
Right. That was
misleading.
So crazy. Yeah. Did
So
they ever fix that?
No. So I'm telling you, the people, do not recycle candidates. Do not vote for family members.
This time, folks.
Do not vote for family members. It's pretty clear now. I thought we might be okay, but we are not okay with family members. And
What do you mean?
So having Jonathan Culp and having Jody Nork as
we didn't know where we stood with Jody, really.
Yeah, you can't have the son-in-law and the mother-in-law together on the same council.
Yeah.
And then have the auditor sitting down there in the front. And then, so now we've got 3 family members with 8 of them. We can't do it.
Yeah, folks,
Can't
that's
do it.
not.
I mean,
that's
Todd
not-
Culp and Jody are in-laws. And then Jonathan is Todd's son and is Jody's son-in-law. You can't do it.
That's insane, man. Like,
You know, but on that same token, if Jonathan gets it, I can't wait to see that. and then you're really going to see that elections have consequences.
Well, I mean, that's
he's
the
not
thing.
ready for a role like this yet. And I mean that, and again, not that Bree could go up there and do this and not even open a finance report and still do a better job.
Yeah.
Than Jonathan Culp. He's a nice kid. And I keep saying kid. I don't call Bree a kid.
Yeah. I get it.
Okay.
It's just,
Bree's a young lady.
Yeah.
Okay. We all mature at different ages and different levels.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
And I'm
I
not
don't
saying
know.
to put anybody down.
I don't know him at all, but I mean, I just say, first of all, I don't like the whole deal with the family deal. That makes me uncomfortable, just because it's not, it's not a good look. The dynasty thing, like everybody, we're so mad. We're trying to get the Likens out and tired of all the whole Likens deal. And it's just like, okay, we don't need more of that from someone else. So that's not a good thing. But
somebody wants me to mention to you, don't forget that Jody's husband is a judge and has been put in charge of making budget requests for the judges before.
Yes.
So somebody, again, yes, I'm friends with the Norks. I'm not pointing one way or the other. I am reading comments that are coming into me.
Yeah, people do need to think about that.
Yeah, the other dispatcher was Sue Lynn, they think, that wanted to who had signed up to speak, who's been there for 30 years. So, I get it. And I'm telling you, I'm losing acquaintances very quickly who I thought were my friends, but I can't do a show and be biased. And I know people want to say, I saw Nicole Johnson's comment up earlier this evening. It says she wants to know how I feel about Beeman because I was his biggest cheerleader. And what I'm going to tell you on that is we're going to let time tell this story. I get you've got a suit. I know you're not going to agree with me,
I-
and that's okay.
No,
And
no,
here's
no.
the
I mean,
thing.
I just want to know. I just want you to tell me when, because I thought that's what we were doing. But
I got to do a little more research.
what do you mean?
I got to look up the statutes and I got to go back and check his comment. I've not had time to go back and look since last night. I got home at
Check his comment.
11. Yes, when he said
Oh, did you think that he said, "Oh no, let him stay. Everything's okay"?
No, when
Oh.
he said the statute says, I got to go look and see if that exists.
What do you mean? What the
At
statute
the
says about
podium,
what?
he said what the state regulates or something. I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, it came from his fucked up head. What
See,
you need
I
to
don't
look
know.
up.
I gotta go look.
Yeah, right. So let me point you in the right direction. The statute isn't going to say anything about that. So if you go to the statute looking for anything he said, it's not there.
Okay, well, once I exhaust all that resource, then I'll make a comment, but I'm not going to speak out of turn. And this is what people who have been following me for a long time, they're saying Katherine always brings receipts. I'm not just shooting from the hip. I'm going to go look it up. I'm not going to take your word for it. I'm not take his word for
Sure.
it. But I want people to understand I really have a real job.
Yeah,
So
right.
sometimes I can't get to things until the
Yeah,
weekend.
yeah.
And so I don't want anybody to think I'm blowing them off. My messenger to the public, I apologize. I had like close to 900 comments on that video.
Yeah, it's
I just
insane.
can't
It's
get back
hard.
to everybody.
Yeah, it's hard.
I'm so sorry.
You can't. I mean, it's nuts. I
Messenger's
feel
been
so bad
crazy.
about that because people message and it's like, dude, you just can't get to all of this.
And
You
I'm
know.
so sorry, but I just want people to know that. But yes, as soon as I have some time to sit down and look at it, then I will make a comment.
You and I are cool, and yeah, that's good. I'm just saying.
I think we're all clear how you feel.
I'm just saying, when you say time's going to tell, I just what I was last night was I was arrested.
Third time's a charm.
We don't
Okay,
get to
third time's a
redo
charm.
this.
Maybe
Third
November
time's
will be a better meeting.
Oh, so November. Okay, so November will be the time of telling. All right. Well, we'll see what happens in November then. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on, Katherine, as always. I think I don't know. It's a toss up between you and Rainwater, who's her favorite. I think Rainwater might edge you out just a little bit, but
and that's okay because he's
you're-
running for governor, and again, he's one you should think about.
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean, let's
absolutely.
not recycle politicians. I think when you go to the polls, that's the key. Do not recycle politicians or family members.
Yeah. Right. Well,
Andre Carson needs to go.
Oh
For
yeah,
heaven's
no
sakes.
question. No question.
know?
He's ridiculous.
And
We
I think
finally have an answer to tonight's thumbnail. Did Madison County fail their First Amendment audit? They failed. Glaringly, it's failed. They absolutely 1000% failed. So that's
it would have been a better thumbnail if you would have had a mugshot with a jail number underneath that.
Yeah. I've done that for another show, so that's the problem is I'm getting to the point where it's all used up. So, but I am gonna make one with Ben Gale and his lapdog. So I'm getting ready to do that here probably this evening. So we got some good political, and I'll put a disclaimer on it. So we won't be breaking House Bill. What is that? 1133. So that'll be fun. But all right. Well, that's it until Madison County screws up again. I guess we will see you on the flip side. I appreciate you coming on, and
I want you to know I watched that movie Swing Vote.
What?
That movie Swing Vote the other night with Kevin Costner.
You want to watch it?
No, I watched it with Kevin Costner. Have you ever seen it?
No.
It's a swing vote about elections.
Oh,
it's an old movie.
I'll have to watch it. No, I haven't watched it.
Swing Vote. You got to watch it because it's kind of actually like when you were talking about with Adam Harvey, guys were talking about 14 votes and his whole family.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what that swing vote's about. It's with Kevin Costner. And what happens is, I mean, I won't tell you the ending, but what happens is his daughter like writes the speech on how important it is for you to register to vote and how you should vote, and he's kind of like, oh, voting doesn't matter. Well, she's so upset with him that she sneaks into the polls and shows you how easy it is to sneak in there and vote. And then the ballot gets eaten for some reason. And they go to the House and they're like, hey, the presidency is off by one vote, and it's your vote that determines which one. And you see both presidents trying to woo him, the one running and the one.
Is it a comedy?
I mean, it's pretty, you should see it.
How old of a movie is this?
10, 14 years.
Okay. All
but
right.
it's
I'll check it out.
funny
I've never seen it.
because it makes me think of Madison County, how it can be manipulated. And when she goes in to go try to vote, like the guy where she's registered, it's a small town and he's just like, and she signs the name and she crawls over there to the ballot thing and she knows what she's doing is illegal, but she doesn't
I'll have
care.
to watch it. That sounds good. Adam says, fun fact, McHale also lost his race for state delegate by 3 votes to my mom.
So see,
I
there you
love
go.
it. That's amazing.
There you go. But I don't know if Adam has seen Swing Vote, but he might enjoy
Yeah,
that.
I will definitely check that out. That's amazing.
So, all right. Well, I can't thank you guys enough. And at the end of the day, Miss Jamie, one day we will see and bring home Steve Sumner's. If there's one person who's been failed, it is Jamie Lynn.
Yeah.
Yep. And so we will get there eventually.
All right. Well,
and it's free on Prime right now. Swing Vote.
What?
Swing Vote is free on Prime.
It's free on Prime. Okay, good. I will go check that out because I have never heard about that.
It might motivate you.
Okay, we'll go watch it. All right, okay. You guys, thank you, Katherine. As always, stay put. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us. You guys, it's been a long show. Last night was a long show. Tune in tomorrow where we're going to be talking about something besides all of this. It's going to be fun. It's going to be grand. It's going to be wonderful. My thoughts and my prayers go out to everybody being affected by Milton right now. That's a horrible situation. I will be monitoring that. And you guys keep following us on social media. Remember, you can find us. It's very important that you can check us out. Our YouTube link is here. Of course, most of you guys know that. Our new Rumble link is here, rumble.com/C/C, the political spotlight. I don't know what the deal is with that C thing. The audio podcast, I am a little behind on that, but I need to get that taken care of. Audio podcast is thepoliticalspotlight.fireside.fm. Find us on X. I've been doing a lot of stuff on X lately. X.com/Bilbrey Live. That's very easy. Obviously on Facebook, facebook.com/the. It's just political spotlight. That sucks. Here is Bilbrey 318, the political spotlight TikTok, and our email is here. So check all that shit out. We will be back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. And we ask that you come back with us. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you. Take care. God bless. Good night. And we will see you